Welcome back to another fantastic soda slurping, pop guzzling, process drink downing episode of Soda Speak. My name is Evan Mead.
I'm Lyle Groniger.
And I'm Cody.
Yeah, and we're back. I
like my pop
Are
to be
you like Madonna? You don't have a last name anymore.
Yeah,
You're just simply
I'm just Cody.
Okay.
I'd like my soda to be diet or zero, please. Jeez.
Yeah.
it's too fattening.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm having a beer, fellas. That's
Can I
much
have
better.
one?
I'll get you
No,
one.
whatever. No, it's fine. I don't want to. It's only if you offer.
No, you can have one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Evan, you want one?
Yes. Okay.
I was curious about something.
What?
And this is so random, but it popped in my head today when I was at work. But because you guys we haven't talked about this yet for obvious reasons, because this whole industry has been closed because of COVID now. But do you guys like bowling?
Yes.
Kind of.
I like bowling.
Bowling popped in my head today, and the reason why is because I always have this very
Merci beaucoup.
Oh, thank you so much. I have this very reoccurring beginner. Oh, thank you. Yep,
Cheers.
Cheers. I have this reoccurring beginner's luck when it comes to bowling because I've never been in a league before with bowling, but every time I hang out with friends, every single time it's the first round, I always hit a strike, and then I suck for the rest of the game.
I'm the same with billiards.
Billiards?
Yeah, pool.
Oh, pool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What are you, American?
But anyways,
yeah, no, I was thinking about that
though.
today. I was like, right, I always remembered I had like this reoccurring, like almost like thing where it's like every time I start off, it's a strike, and then I suck, and then I kind of fizzle out of the game, and I just start chatting with friends, and I don't care about my score.
I feel like that bowling is a social sport. Like you're there to have a good time with friends.
It is like you said, billiards. Oh, prestige.
I mean,
fucking-
if you're there to if you're there to
not pool.
if you're bowling competitively,
Soccer,
if you're bowling competitively, you're not talking to your friends.
Oh no,
Well,
absolutely.
it's like the Big Lebowski. It's like I don't care what they're doing with the bowls, unless it's Donnie's doing good, but like.
Did you like bowling? Sorry.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's fine. The last time I did it was with Veronica. That's gonna be taken out of context, but yeah, we did bowling like 3 years ago. Haven't done it since.
I don't think I've actually been to a bowling alley in Toronto yet. Oh no, that's a lie. Sorry, that's actually not true. I went to the ballroom bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard of that place yet. It's hard to get
right
in
across the street from the Scotiabank
there. Yeah, it's close to Scotia.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I did a few rounds there, but I usually go there to go upstairs at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, I know that. I gotta go to that place.
That's kind of my go-to when it comes to just going to like the Scotiabank Theater. We usually just meet up, have some dinner.
Ironically, I've been to the Scotiabank Theater many times, but I've never been to this bowling facility of which you speak.
We should. I don't know. I haven't looked it up to see if like things are open, but
they're figuring out a lot of establishments are coming up with really clever ways to open while staying sanitized. Like obviously you're gonna have to wear a mask,
sure,
for the time being. I mean, there's chatter that in our local region they might just give up on mask mandates and just say, yeah, if you want to.
Oh, I heard next week the passports are gone.
I heard that was a maybe.
No. I heard that the passports are gone next Tuesday, March 1st.
QR passport.
Yeah, you don't have. They don't. Well, I'm sure some companies are probably going to still just have it around, but not mandate. It's like, oh, do you have it? And if not, you don't. It's okay.
I can't wait till PCR is obliterated. I hate the fact that if I want to leave the country, I got to take a PCR before, and then while I'm in the other country.
So funny, the home delivery.
I go to Seattle, damn it.
Yeah,
we'll get you there.
Rain and coffee and grunge all the way.
Hey.
But it's so funny.
City.
My home delivery service of groceries, Grocery Gateway that I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if do you do this at work where they're throwing in free COVID rapid tests?
No, we haven't been doing that at my company.
I was like, sweet. We have 2 boxes now.
Damn.
Just boxes for free. I know that they're for free for stores, but I don't have to go out to get them. So we literally just have like 2 boxes that are just gonna be used when the time is right.
That's good.
Yeah. Do you guys ever play sports? Sorry. Speaking of bowling, have you guys ever played like in a league growing up?
I used to play baseball when I was a kid, but I fucking hated it.
I
did soccer, and I fucking hated it. Like, I don't have the temperance for sports. I can't stay in the game. I get bored. I zone out. I lose. I get angry. So
I might as well just like Lyle. Like, we're wearing almost the same glasses. We have our lady's name is Veronica. Well, guess what? I played t-ball and I played soccer and I hated it too.
Oh
my god!
Oh my god!
Just like doppelgangers.
This is mitosis incarnate.
You gotta Well, you have a triplet because I played soccer and baseball and I didn't like either.
Oh no, I played t-ball. You guys at least played baseball.
I played softball.
I played the pathetic version of baseball. Like, okay, wait, are you supposed to be at a certain age to play baseball when you're young? Is that probably why I was in a t-ball phase?
T-ball's for like young kids.
Like t-ball, I was 6 probably.
Is t-ball the one where it's just like a ball on a stick and you hit the ball?
Yeah, ready?
There's not even a
play ball.
There's not even a pitcher.
There's no pitcher. Yeah, you hit the ball. I know it is pathetic.
Stupid lame ass kids.
But what's so funny?
Throw things.
I don't remember hating on it as much.
Tantrums.
I don't remember hating on it as much as people always bring these stories up to me where they go, Cody, when you were at outfield, you were so bored, you were like fucking sitting there picking grass.
Yeah, I did that too.
And I was like, I don't remember hating it that much, like how they say it. My soccer team, I played soccer when I was 10. We were on like a fucking, I don't even know how long losing streak with a team that barely cared. I was midfield. I think I kicked the ball once. Because, like...
You kicked the ball?
I literally... Yeah, I kicked a ball in soccer once. like, isn't that pathetic? And then when I was, like, 11, I went through a tiny golf phase.
Oh.
Very tiny golf phase. Where I was just on a course for literally a day, and I was miserable as fuck. I was, like, literally, you whack a ball, and then you go after it.
Was this
and then you whack a ball, and then you go after it. And I'm like, this is just so boring.
I like mini golf.
I like mini golf. Mini golf is fun.
Especially with friends. We should go.
Oh, for sure.
If not bowling, we should do at least mini golf.
Mini golf. Glow-in-the-dark indoor mini golf. Yes. And also laser tag.
And bumper cars.
Yes.
Ice cream sundae.
Or not bumper cars. Not bumper cars. Just track racing.
Can we at least have rock climbing?
Oh, I've done rock climbing before.
Okay, great.
A few years ago.
I feel like we're gonna wind up at Canada's Wonderland in the near future.
There's a place near Downsview or Chrissy Station, actually, in Toronto. It's a place that used to clearly it used to be an old movie theater because the outside of it has like it's the same.
Are you
structure.
talking about Palladium?
No. It's in the West End. I did rock climbing there a couple years ago with Troy actually. I invited him along. It was fun.
I have to check it out.
Yeah.
So
did you play sports?
Aside
from baseball?
Not aside from gym class, and the occasional football game at recess with friends. No.
That was the worst.
No.
I don't know if you ever had experience I hated the ball hogs.
Oh. Well, playing with friends.
That's probably what soiled sports for me growing up. I hated the people that were in your class in gym class when you're doing something basketball. Kickball.
Well,
you guys played kickball, right?
Yes.
That wasn't just a recess thing?
No, we played kickball.
Kickball, everybody were fucking ball hogs.
At our school, we called it soccer baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, original.
Like
yeah. Original. Kickball is better.
I think the only sport I actually really got into was probably skateboarding.
Yeah? You did skateboarding?
Yeah, I skateboarded for a little bit, during high school, but, problem is that this is what I always call it Walmart wood. You get a $20 Toys R Us skateboard.
Oh,
it has you can't roll on it. You kick on it every 2 seconds. It has no distance to it, and you can't do tricks on it either. So here I am doing the small hills on the skate ramp, and I feel like a noob because I'm wearing a helmet, which is a smart thing to do, of course. Although I had a bicycle helmet, I didn't even go for a typical skateboarding helmet.
Oh yeah, so did I.
You gotta get pads too, because if you fall in cement, it hurts.
Yeah.
And I never had the nerve to go on the big ramps, the half pipe, because I always fell every time.
Yeah. So in Rodney, you guys actually wore helmets and pads?
Well, not everyone.
Okay, I was going to say Windsor. That was unheard of. When I went to move to Toronto and then met Veronica and we went for a bike ride actually in Windsor one time. She's like, "You've never worn a fucking helmet before? This is insane." She was so uncomfortable. like it was almost like you considered it almost like a bylaw in Toronto to wear a helmet.
Yeah, they take that shit very seriously.
And I'm like, I have never worn a fucking helmet before riding a bike growing up. Like that was unheard of.
You country boys.
Boys.
Exactly.
But you know what? I've actually seen the skate park in Rodney. I've been to it. But you know what's funny?
What's funny?
I mean, it's not. It's. You be the judge. So when Lyle, you invited your Veronica out to Rodney. I think it was for the first time.
With this story.
If we're not going to tell it, we're not going to tell.
Fine. One time I took Veronica to the skate park because it was late at night, and I wanted to get some riding in. So because Veronica gave me her childhood skateboard, which was also Walmart wood, but it worked a little bit better than the one I used to have.
Yeah.
And, I was going down the hills. I was doing pretty good. And she's like, I want to try a hill. I'm like, can you even balance? Like, do you have any idea how to save yourself from a fall? And she's like, I don't know.
That's why I can't skate.
Yeah, it's like, because, like, I had to practice a bit, but I'm pretty good with balancing on a skateboard, which is surprising because I'm pretty tall and broad, so it's not like I'm a lanky guy or anything. But, she wanted to, like, go on, like, the small hill. I was like, I have a bad feeling about this. Like, you don't have any equipment on you. If you fall, you might break something. And sure enough, she's like, I'm going to do it. She went down the hill. She landed right on her arm. And she broke it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she broke her arm.
Oh, fuck.
And,
yeah.
So, the reason why I thought it was an interesting contrast because
what's so funny about
it's not so funny, but this is what's interesting. She leaves, she shows up with an okay arm, and leaves in a cast
with a broken arm.
But when I came to the
accidents happen.
But a few days before I came out to see her in Rodney in 2020, I fell off my bike and got a hairline fracture in my hand. So my hand was in a cast. So I showed up to the skate park in a cast.
Okay.
So I actually showed up with a broken limb.
I never broke I mean, does a finger count?
I guess.
Kind of.
Like,
yeah, you broke a finger.
I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I took a crazy carpet. You know what those are, right? Like the little thin toboggans that are like,
yes.
They come in like different colors.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like a big plastic sheet of like
those things.
Yeah. I went down the stairs on one with a buddy of mine, and my mom's like, "You probably shouldn't be doing that. You're gonna hurt yourself."
It's because you saw Home Alone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably subconsciously, but she's
the stunts are done by professionals.
It's so funny it's so funny you say that, Evan, because I brought up that story the other night with Veronica where literally right after I fucking like broke my finger, my finger snapped back on a step as I was going down too fast and I was trying to stop myself, and my middle finger got caught because your middle finger is obviously longer than the rest of your fingers. It got caught and it bent all the way back. And I was telling this story to Veronica the other night because I told you guys just off recording right now, but like we watched Jackass just a little high, and
just a little.
Just a little.
I'm
watching it going like, and it's like the television show stuff, not the extreme movie stuff. I'm going like, you know what? I do that. I do that.
I give that a try.
And we started talking about how when we used to toboggan as kids, they didn't have ramps growing up, like snow-made ramps. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, there's a park right next to my Nana's house, even still to this day, that's a pretty massive hill. There were 3 lineups for ramps on this hill, like, and they all got like steeper and steeper. And it was like the bomb, and it was always so fun and extreme. And then we just sort of came to this conclusion. I'm like, wow, even before I started watching Jackass, I was born to be a jackass. Like, that's probably why it appeals to me.
I'm pretty fortunate. I've actually never broken a bone in my life.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I have scars like pretty much anywhere on my body, but it's just I've never gotten like any broken bones. I think the closest I ever got was like I've had head injuries, like things land on my head, and that's no fun. But
I've twisted my ankle several times. This past summer, actually, going for a walk, I twisted it.
God, one time, Veronica and I went to a trampoline park, and I landed bad, and I twisted my ankle.
I was in the woods, and it twisted.
That sucks, too, yeah.
I took a bad step.
So I'm like, I'm never going here again. This is for kids.
Did you injure yourself growing up, or?
All the time, yeah. All the time.
Yeah. What was the biggest one?
I have a story. So, I went over one time. I went over to a good family friend of ours, and they had a little Shih Tzu that was, all excited to see us. And I'm 7 at the time. I get the Shih Tzu dog tangled in my legs. I trip over and I split my eyebrow along the corner of a wall, and I felt like I just whacked my head like really hard against the wall, and I felt it was painful. But what scared the hell out of me was my mom and her girlfriend were like, oh my god, he's gonna need stitches, because apparently there was blood gushing down my face because like I'd split my eyebrow. So my mom just promptly scoops me up, gets me into the car, and we have to go to the hospital, which was right down the street. But yeah, my afternoon with my friends was completely ruined because we did get back to their place just to have like some time to hang out with our friends. Unfortunately, though, I was in pain the whole time because I had just gotten stitches, and that's not fun. But
yeah, and I never got stitches before.
I got
I don't know what it's like.
Yeah. Also, a couple of my teeth are realigned from the impact of.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's not a horrible realignment. The dentist did say I have like a slight realignment that will probably never correct itself. But...
Oh, I'll tell you guys a story that's gonna make us now. I'll tell you, it's definitely gonna make us jump into the main subject because like this is a conversation killer.
Wait, we have a topic?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my god.
This is a conversation killer. This is a squeamish, terrible story that happened to me.
Okay.
I was running up the stairs at my Nana's house. I had to have been not too young, actually. I was like a teenager or whatever. And I was grazing my fingers on her wooden handrail as I was running up the stairs, like nails first. And I get to the top of the stairs, and all of a sudden I feel this excruciating pain, as if like something just like hit my fingernail. And it turns out not one, but 2 slivers went under my fingernail.
Oh god. I've done that before.
Yep. And I found out later on that that's a way to torture people. Like you put a bamboo stick underneath your fingernail. That's a way to torture somebody.
Yeah.
So I tortured myself by accident. I got the sliver out thinking the pain was gone, and it was all bruised and weird. And later on I'm in the car or whatever, and it was like later on that day, and I'm still feeling that pain. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I dug in deeper with a pair of tweezers, and I took out a bigger piece.
Mm-hmm. It's splinters.
It was the worst. Like, it was the fucking worst.
Yeah. I remember one time I was a kid, I got my hand crunched by a door, the door,
in between, yeah.
In between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like anxiety as a kid growing up that I just didn't want my dick to be caught in there. I don't know why. I had this I swear, like a 5-year-old, I just remember thinking like it would fucking suck to have your pee-pee, or as my papa would call it, your bird. I'd take a bath or a shower. He'd be like, "Did you wash your bird?"
Yeah, no, we used to call your dick. I used to call my dick my winky.
Winky.
Okay. What'd you call your dick when you were a child?
How did we get
I just call it. Okay,
your schlong.
No, I just called it my penis.
Your penis.
No, I called it. Shut the fuck up. I called it my penis, and I actually was I was told that dick was a bad word because I learned the word dick at summer camp.
Dick. And now we're back to dick. Where's that jar? We got to bring out that jar.
Oh god.
All right, the dick jar.
Oh my god, it's fitting because we introduced that in the last episode. Underrated. So what are we talking about today, guys?
18 fucking minutes into the episode. We're talking about underrated movies. Remember how... No,
I loved the last time we did this.
No. Do you remember...
There's so many to count.
Exactly. Do you remember what the first time we did an albums episode and we gotta do 3 or 4 more of these because there's too many albums.
We have another series ahead of us now.
Yeah. So...
Because honestly, there really isn't that much I can say about overrated movies. I think I've said it all.
I have bad vibes with that one because I had to explain myself at every turn.
Well, dude, you got what you needed to say off Black Panther. And by the way, I'm not gonna ever. Okay, the good news is you gave Black Panther another chance, and you upgraded a 6 out of 10 rating to a 7 out of 10, which is still pretty good.
Bad. I might like it later on.
There's hope.
There is hope for you yet, laddie.
There's only
picture now.
There's only one overrated movie that I would actually choose, but I can't think of anything else. But it's not worthy enough because we usually do 3 choices.
Oh yeah.
But I'll get out of the way right now. My overrated movie is Joker from 2019.
Oh yeah, you're gonna talk about that in that episode.
Okay.
Long story short, I think the Joaquin Phoenix is great, and the movie is just sort of
Okay, that's fine.
That's
Review
fine.
over.
I loved it, but
I really
Todd-
liked it.
Todd,
I really
Todd
liked
Phillips
it.
is a fan of Martin Scorsese films. That's all I got out of it.
you get the
Yeah,
for sure.
there were
I
a
won't
couple.
deny.
There were a couple of reviews that I actually thought were kind of condescending, like up to like the Oscar season in 2020, where it's like, "Stop acting like Joker is a masterpiece. It's a Scorsese wannabe." Like,
Like
okay, so
it's well,
are other
it's well shot.
Okay,
It's well acted.
But-
It I don't know.
are other
I just-
filmmakers not allowed to take inspiration from other filmmakers anymore?
Tarantino's done his
But
entire
it's
career.
not-
My fucking point
But
exactly.
it's not as overrated as the three that I talked about in that episode.
Yeah, I know. And you
So-
kind of your stance on it softened again.
I didn't have to. That's what I mean. I can't go extensively in an episode. So really, no. There's more underrated movies out there.
Yeah, so
spread the
yeah,
that's
positivity.
why
Spread the love.
That's why we're going to talk about underrated movies today again.
And I don't know about you guys, but the three I chose tonight, it's coincidentally they're films that either people have seen and they're like, yeah, that was either okay or good. I personally think they're fucking masterpieces. So I want to talk about why I feel like they deserve a little bit more praise than they
Sure.
do.
I went all the way to the deep end of the pool and picked some of the weirdest movies I've ever seen.
What's it? I picked two family films, or theoretically family films, and one drama that has faded into obscurity, but I think more people need to see.
I picked an action, a family film, and a drama.
Okay.
I picked a family film, fantasy film, and I've been so iffy on my third pick, but I think I'm gonna go with the sci-fi one.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Let's in the order in which we're seated around this mic, let's go counterclockwise and
So-
start with Cody.
Cody,
Oh, all right.
you, then me.
Yes.
All right.
I always end these episodes. This is fun.
Save the best for last. Oh, what was that? No,
That was you being a meanie.
a meanie.
A meanie.
A meanie to your weenie.
Oh God.
A meanie to my wing.
Okay, that's it.
Weenie.
Dick jar.
We need to exercise some restraint with the wee jokes.
Weenie Hot Junior.
Oh God.
Was that what episode?
That was a SpongeBob.
Yeah. What episode was that?
It was called No Weenies Allowed.
One Wee's Allowed. Right. All right. Anyways, sorry.
Why was the
Dingy.
why was the bartender at that stupid weenie place
was a robot.
fucking
I
robot?
don't know. What? Why is it that there's fire under the water? When
There's
there's a bonfire?
water. How can there be?
All right. Anyways, from 1991, my first pick from 1991, Point Break.
Yeah. You
Point
love
Break.
this.
I
movie.
fucking love this movie, directed by Catherine Bigelow. So it's essentially about the
Academy Award-winning Catherine Bigelow.
She should have got the Oscar for this one. No.
Alright.
Nah, I won't go so far with that.
It's a little far.
It's basically about it takes place in LA, and there's these few bank robbers that are like professional bank robbers that refer to themselves as the ex-presidents because they wear suits and these masks of like JFK, Nixon.
I am not a crook.
Yeah. And they're like so efficient and so professional that they're in and out within like 90 seconds. And they've robbed like a few dozen banks in like a year or two. And Johnny Utah, played by Keanu Reeves, the internet's favorite Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
is an FBI agent. He's an FBI agent
I knew it.
who gets assigned to work with Gary Busey. And they know one lead to find these ex-presidents. They know that they're surfers. So Johnny Utah naturally goes undercover as a surfer. And he befriends with this guy named Bodie, played by the late, great Patrick Swayze. Rest in peace.
Mhm.
And they really hit it off. Like, Patrick Swayze, Bodie really, like, shows him, like, a different side of life. And you can kind of tell Johnny is actually, like, kind of getting warmed up to this sort of, like, throw everything away that the masses and the machine and life tells you to do, just of doing like your data job and then just being like a robot, whatever, like a sheep, whatever.
How hilarious that
Surfing.
This is a precursor. This came out before The Matrix.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of parallels, even like that sort of idea that like you become somebody else. But I find this film so subtle and so mature as an action film because that's what it is. It's essentially an action film. I mean, this film has got fucking bank robbers, surfing, skydiving, shootouts, foot chases. Probably one of the best fucking foot chases I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
You guys have seen it, right?
Yeah.
I've showed you, but have you
Cody,
seen it?
I have a confession to make. Not only have I not seen the OG Point Break, I have seen the remake.
All right, I'm out.
I'm so sorry.
I'm out.
I'm so fucking
He's
sorry.
popping off.
Oh man,
I'm so fucking sorry.
I didn't want to talk about. I haven't even seen the remake. I refuse to see the remake because
it looks really bad.
It looks like okay. This is why it looks so bad. It's because it's testosterone filled. It's directed by someone that was like, this movie deserves to be remade. It has pump out the action more. Have them be extreme bank robbers. They're in plains. They're in mountains and all that shit.
It feels like a snowboarding documentary.
And kudos to the casting director. You get a guy playing Johnny Utah in this new one that has like long blonde hair. And you get like the guy that's playing Bodhi to have like short black hair. Oh, do you get it? They switched it. Oh,
what
they twist. What a twist! No, okay. So you naturally know the story then.
Yes.
Okay, so spoilers, and I don't even know if it's like a big deal to spoil it because even if it is obvious that Bodhi is the ex-president, he's the leader. Him and his buddies are the ex-presidents.
Yeah.
When Johnny finds that out. The whole movie is really just naturally about their kinship and their friendship. And there's been a lot of theories out there that there's actually some homoerotic kind of like themes to the movie as well. There's
lots of movies in the 80s and 90s got that. Top Gun has that.
And it's so funny you bring that up, Evan, because how you feel about Top Gun is how I feel about Point Break.
Okay.
Where there's this borderline, like people think it's cheesy, but also like extreme and like kind of like of its time.
Yeah.
You're probably more into planes and all that. I love the ocean.
Yeah.
I like the visceral appeal to this movie. Maybe it's harkening back to me accidentally just sneaking this movie when it was on VHS. That's another one of those stories. It was on a VHS with Juice from 1991 and Encino Man from 92. That's the most 90s fucking cassette I've ever said. You got Juice, Point Break, and Encino Man. You can't get any more 90s than that on a VHS.
Juice nuts with the
Wheeze in the juice. No, that's another story.
So to speak,
because I would rewind that tape to watch Encino Man, and I get snippets of Point Break, like, whoa, this house raid scene looks really intense, and I just love like that LA aesthetic of the 90s, where it just like it looks so like you can just feel the heat burning off the screen, and like I don't know, there's something very like visceral and very like mature and intense about the film, and I personally think it's underrated because like there's like these layers where I don't know once Bodhi and Johnny find out who they are with each other when they do that skydiving scene. I just watch that scene thinking like, are they actually enjoying the natural thrill of this, or are they just like kind of butting heads and like, oh no, I insist you pull my parachute, no, I insist you pull mine, because like they're kind of enemies, but they don't know that they're enemies yet. They haven't like confessed that to each other, or are they actually like generally enjoying this moment together? Like it's so well done. I'm sorry, it's so well fucking done.
Yeah.
Like it's so much more classier of its time too. Out of all the action 90s movies, and I love a lot of 90s action films, but I feel like action doesn't jump to my mind when I think of Point Break. I think of a really tight story between like it's like a bromance story.
Yeah.
Almost. You know, like it's like and it's funny how it's actually directed by Catherine Bigelow, and she would later on do like, more like critically acclaimed films, but I gotta seek out some more shit that she's done.
Yeah.
Actually. Because I'm
not overly familiar with her work either.
Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of it? Well, did you hate the remake enough that you want to watch the original?
Well, the remake made me curious to see the original.
There you go.
So, hey, something good came out of that.
What did you think when I showed you?
I thought it was kind of average.
Yeah,
I wasn't really.
Naturally.
I wasn't sold on it that much. I'll probably try and see it again.
The remake you're speaking of, didn't they remake it with cars and it was called something fast?
The Furious Fast people.
The Furious Fast. Well, they are furious.
They are the Furiously Fast folks.
No.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Fast and the Furious is basically Point Break with cars.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
It's weird that I kind of prefer Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Although, at least Fast 5. That's when it gets good.
Yeah.
But like, Point Break, I I didn't mind it. I'll watch it again. I always rewatch the scene where he fights the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah.
Well, is it the band? I thought it was the
Sorry,
lead singer.
it's Anthony Kiedis, not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole band.
Yeah. Speaking of that scene, I remember.
Would just be a waste of time.
Oh, is that where they're on the beach?
Yeah.
Because I've seen that scene.
I remember KJ when he was he went to Brock University in film school before we both like joined together and went to TFS, right?
Right.
And he said he was doing an essay on Point Break, and it's funny that you brought up that scene where Johnny Utah, like Keanu Reeves, was just on the beach taking the shower, rinsing off, and he pissed off a few people like in a scene earlier, or no, he pissed off one person a scene earlier, and all of a sudden as he's taking the shower, he's approached by these guys. They shut off the shower. And like he just looks around, he's just it's like this point of view shot where he's surrounded by all these guys, including the Chili Peppers singer. And when he was in school, they did this theory on because Catherine Bigelow has like this sort of like nice feminine sensibility to the direction, which I definitely can see, is that women sort of feel like they're sort of like they have like this sort of like fear of like, oh no, if I'm in the shower, which is supposed to be a time where I'm supposed to feel like, like to myself, and that's my
privacy.
security and privacy.
Yeah.
And that's interrupted, and that's really scary. And they kind of put Johnny in that perspective in that scene.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. I feel like that goes back to just why I like the sensibilities in it. It's a way more matured action film. It's classy, and it's what movie can you name that has skydiving, bank robbers, surfing, and fucking Gary Busey in it? God damn it, that gets points.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fast and Furious 10.
Furious 10?
Oh lord.
Or FX.
Well, they go into space this time? Oh my god.
No, they did that already.
They did that. Well, they're gonna go outer space. It's gonna be like fucking like Speed Racer probably.
Oh my
god. Speed Racer. I was tempted.
Where they're fucking racing aliens?
Not a bad choice, yeah.
I was tempted. Maybe next time.
What if Speed Racer is like a spiritual sequel to the Fast movies?
No, it's based on an anime.
Fair.
Yeah.
What? Nah, that was a bad joke.
That's alright.
But yeah, that's my first pick.
So, my first pick, good choice. I will watch Point Break.
Please.
Now that
another shot.
Now that you've compared it to Top Gun, I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued now.
Let's see what's so special about this Blue Flame special.
Okay, so first movie I'm going to talk about is a family film, but the reason why I said kind of a family film, it's anime. It's the only one I have to talk about that's animated. But is it a family film? You be the judge. The Brave Little Toaster, released in 1987.
Yeah, I guess it's a family film.
Yeah, but like the themes in it are so like adult and so dark, and
so was Toy Story.
Okay, that's true.
Person.
In fact, it's funny you mentioned Toy Story, Lyle, because
Is it now?
this movie combines the plot of all three Toy Stories into one movie, and ironically,
is that true?
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, ironically, because here's the thing. The Brave Little Toaster is, instead of toys coming to life, appliances come to life.
Yeah.
The toast... Okay, so there's this cottage full of appliances, and they all come to life, and they are essentially waiting for their master to return, but after an uncomfortable epiphany, they realize this master's probably never coming back, so we're probably going to have to...
grown up now, right?
Well, the movie explains that later. He is grown up, but they don't understand the concept of the master's grown up yet. They have to figure that out. So the toaster eventually gets fed up one day and says, we're going out to find the master, and it means we have to trek across the wilderness to the big city where the master lives. The whole movie is essentially about this journey. So like the basic premise of Toy Story, it's things coming to life. In Toy Story, it was toys, and the Brave Little Toaster, it's appliances.
Right.
So, and several big players at Pixar worked on this. Like Joe Ranft does one of the voices, and also
Who is he?
Joe Ranft plays the parts store owner.
And he said he's a Pixar person.
Joe Ranft was a big creative head at Pixar.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately,
he did the voiceover of some characters.
He voiced Heimlich in A Bug's Life.
Yeah, and Wheezy in Toy Story 2.
Joe Ranft, he did tragically die.
He's like that guy John. What's his name? He always pops up in Pixar.
John Ratzenberger.
John Ratzenberger. Yeah. You recognize his voice right away. He's like the abominable snowman in Monsters Inc. He's the fish from Finding Nemo. He's He's ham. He's ham.
He's ham.
Yeah, too, but
Yeah.
enough rats and
So,
burgers.
Sorry. Yeah.
John Ratzenberger actually isn't in this movie.
But I think I saw this movie, but I think I only saw sections of it.
I know I might have saw this movie, or it was probably the one. Did they make one where they went to Mars?
They made three movies.
Did, yeah.
They made a trilogy. In 1997, they made The Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue, which is all about the master proposing to his girlfriend. And then in 1998, they followed up with The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars, where the master and his wife have a kid, and the kid gets abducted by beings on Mars, so the appliances have to go to Mars.
You know what's funny? I remember the day I watched one of those, and I don't even know which one it was.
Oh, yeah.
And right after I watched the DuckTales movie.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what it's called. It's like the DuckTales Adventures or something.
The only thing
I know as a kid I watched this too, but I can't remember what happened or what those titles are even called. It's so strange.
The only thing I remember from Brave Little Toaster is that the villain is basically an adult Sid Phillips.
He barely qualifies as the villain, and that's who Joe Ranft plays. So let me just break down.
How about that?
So this is the plot. So the reason why I said
let's not get too deep.
Okay, so it combines elements of all three Toy Story movies into the first movie. Combines the plots of all three Toy Story movies. The reason why it combines Toy Story 1 is because you have the crazy human, not necessarily crazy, but fine-tuning with his hands human character who likes to take apart appliances, and to the appliances they treat it like it's murder.
So there's even a comeuppance scene that's just like the one in Toy Story where the appliances strike back.
Yep. Oh, really?
And
what's
get
this character's name?
His name was Mr. St. Peters.
Mr. St. Peters' Room. The next Moody Boy album coming soon.
Hey, you and I talked. If there's going to be another Moody Boy album, you got to make it on the
Stinky Pete.
No. I told him he has to make it about Syndrome, and he has to release it on like the 20th anniversary of The Incredibles in 2024.
That's a lot of pressure, bro. Yeah. I'll call it No Man.
So, I mean, I guess it is underrated because not a lot of people talk about them.
No, not only is it not talked about, it's kind of like, when people bring it up, it's like, what's the Brave Little Toaster? Oh, yeah, that one.
I know, isn't there there's a radio?
There is a radio.
There's a blanket.
Oh, talk about the cast. Okay, so John Lovitz plays the radio, and he gets top.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
John Lovitz plays.
I'm losing his mind.
John Lovitz plays the radio. There's the Toaster, who's actually Toaster is apparently a he, but the character is voiced by a woman, and it's pretty obvious, which I think is kind of cool. And then there's also there's the blankie. There's the electric blanket. There's
there's a vacuum, right?
Vacuum.
The vacuum's name is Kirby,
and a lamp.
And he's Okay, so the blanket is the vacuum is voiced by Thurl Ravenscroft, Tony the Tiger himself.
Ah,
okay.
And
is he great in that movie?
He is pretty good. He's the moody asshole who pretends he doesn't like them, but when they're all like about to die, he's the person that jumps in and saves them. Literally,
my favorite.
Yeah. But anyways, so the reason why, getting back to the comparison, just like Toy Story 1, they have the techie genius who takes apart appliances like Sid. Like in Toy Story 1, you have the characters go from one place, from a remote house to a big city, like in Toy Story 2, to go get someone. And then they have the dark revelation that they're not wanted. And just like in Toy Story 3, the final act of the movie is in a garbage dump and they all almost die. So
wow,
that is crazy. I thought about that.
I even talked about this movie in our traumatic movies episode. The Master almost dies one of the most horrifying deaths you'll like. This we've talked about. The screen is tinted red and everything.
That's right. Yeah, and I was saying there's like a Don Bluth kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
no, there's a Don Bluth feel to it. Yeah. Like in The Secret of Nim, where the screen is tinted red.
I always think this is a Don Bluth movie.
It's not.
It's not, though. It looks like that.
No, I would say it looks like a Don Bluth movie, because he's like, anti-Disney.
Yeah.
He left Disney,
he wants to go to the territory that Disney won't dare venture.
Yeah.
But
he has balls.
Yeah. Well, not to get too off topic. But speaking of balls,
and I want to bring up something about how they don't make edgy kids movies anymore in my second pick.
Right.
Go on.
My pick's pretty edgy.
But anyways, when I was a kid and seeing this for the first time, like I obviously the ending scared me as a kid, but as I grew, I didn't actually love it until I was like a teenager. I understood like the themes. Also, one scene that I love this scene, but I didn't understand it when I was a kid. So Phil Hartman voices the late Phil Hartman, may he rest in
Oh.
peace. He
So many
voices
Simpsons people.
he voices two characters in this movie. The first character is an air conditioner, and the air conditioner is this contrarian douchebag who basically talks. He's the one who convinces them that the master is not coming back and you guys are all abandoned. And then they try to talk down to him by saying, "Oh yeah, well, the master never used you because you're stuck on the wall." And then he goes into the most eerie speech ever. Like, he literally has PTSD and he dies by suicide. Like, he goes like,
What?
no, I'm serious. He goes, "So, it's back to that stupid static again. You think I don't know what goes on in here? I'm the one who knows what goes on in this cottage. It's a conspiracy. And every one of you low-watts is in on it. Just because you can move around, you think you're better than I am. I'm not an invalid. I was designed to stick in the wall. I like being stuck in this stupid wall.
Oh.
I can't help it if that kid was too short to reach my tiles. Oh, we didn't mean it, really. It's my function!" And then he freaking explodes.
Did I just watch that scene in
You did,
Sausage
yes.
Party where the mustard jumps off the cart and dies?
I'm like.
My face kind of turned red. From
You
that.
did.
That's
You turned
You haven't
red.
been that angry since Caillou, Evan.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was in character. Sorry, but that's literally the scene.
Does the movie have like really funny, like lame puns? Like, you know, like say the air conditioner is like losing his mind over something. Like how you did, like it was the air conditioner you just said, right? Like,
Yeah.
So just people say, "Hey, cool it, man."
Actually, it's
Like just some lame jokes.
there is
like that.
one that's kind of dirty. The vacuum is like, "Hey, why don't you just shut off?" And the air conditioner goes, "Hey, I'm real scared there, Kirby. What are you gonna do? Suck me to death?"
If I was a vacuum, I'd be like, I get insulted every day. People say that I suck, but I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
It blows.
Also,
like I want dumb shit like that, but I'm sure it's more clean cut.
yeah,
It's more clean cut, kids.
There's even one scene where the radio goes off. The radio has an alarm, and then the lamp goes, "I've got a good mind to reset your alarm permanently." And also, I should also add that this movie is actually a musical, and the songs are damn good.
Oh yeah.
Like there's 4 that I know of. There's
my next pick would have been such a perfect segue.
Oh, yeah.
But go. Yeah.
Okay, I got one.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so funny. It blends nicely.
Yeah. So
4 songs, yeah.
And
same thing with mine, actually.
So there's 4 songs. My favorite one would probably have to be "The Cutting Edge," where they basically get to the master. When they eventually find the master, they discover that he has all these high-tech new appliances, or they were new for the time period. Like, they're all outdated today. But no, every one of these appliances is outdated by today's technology standards, because this was 1987. So then the master's new appliances basically sing a song about how they're technologically advanced and how they're all like inferior, which segues into the song that all the rusted cars sing as they're going to be crushed, called "Worthless," and that was "Worthless" is. I've read YouTube comment pages about the song "Worthless," and there's deep lyrical interpretation with that song. Like, it's a really haunting tune.
Nice.
It's got a rockin' beat though. Like, it sounds like a song you could hum to yourself, as haunting as that sounds. But yeah, so the Brave Little Toaster, I say it's underrated because, like, I even said to quote my Letterboxd review, if you want to talk about horrifying imagery in Disney, look no further than this film.
All right, I'm sold.
Cool.
Do I need to watch the other 2 afterwards, or just
I've only seen part of "To the Rescue," and
That's the only one I've seen. Actually.
I've seen "Ghost to Mars" once, and I didn't really remember it very well.
You didn't go back to Mars.
Quick question: was it a theatrical release? The
I
first one?
think the first one was theatrical, but the other two were direct-to-video. Maybe.
Okay. And that came out in the big heap of the 90s where everything was like direct to sequel. Like basically Disney today with their live action remakes was what 90s was back then with direct to video sequels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well, the reason why is because
that was a phase.
Return of Jafar kickstarted that trend because
You know that was supposed to be just the pilot for the Aladdin show, right?
it was.
Do you know when you watch that movie and there's like fade to blacks?
Yeah.
That it was 3 episodes combined into one.
Yeah.
Like every 20 minutes in Return of Jafar, it fades to black because that was supposed to be the end of the episode.
They also.
Yeah.
They also.
Why do you think the animation looks just so kind of cruddy compared to the first Aladdin?
Because it was going to be for
I don't
TV.
even remember it.
No, it was supposed to be the first 3 episodes of the show.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, they must have been like, all right, let's just release it out as a directed video. I don't know. It was a new market, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
On to you.
On to me. All right, so we're doing kids movies, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're gonna talk about a brave little toaster, then I'm gonna talk about a movie that, if it taught me anything, it taught me that a world without string is chaos.
Yes! Oh my god!
Which one is this?
You were considering talking about this, and I'm so happy you are, because I really enjoy this movie.
Okay. So, MouseHunt.
Yeah.
Directed by Gore Verbinski, the guy who would later go on to make the Pirates trilogy.
Nice.
And Rango.
And Rango, yeah.
Yep.
And A Cure for Wellness, too.
And The Ring, the remake.
Oh, he did that, too?
Yeah.
Oh, he's cool. All right, so...
I've seen this movie so many times as a kid. I think it's
too.
wonderful. I thought it was going to hate it when I rewatched it a few years ago with Veronica. I was like, oh, here we go. This is not going to hold up. It holds up as like a dark comedy and a family comedy so nicely. It's so classy and traditional. Sorry. I'm just so excited.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enthused about this.
I'm very enthused.
I'm very happy to hear that.
This is a gem.
So yeah, this is a gem from the 90s. It's okay, if I had to break down the plot quickly, there's these 2 brothers named Ernie and Lars.
Yep.
They're down on their luck. Ernie just lost his restaurant after a big debacle.
With a cockroach.
With a cockroach in his kitchen. That kills the fucking mayor. Or gives him a heart attack or something, whatever.
I think it's a heart attack, yeah.
Yeah. And then you have Lars, who has to look after his father's string factory long after he passes away. Oh god, that opening alone.
That opening is that's so dark. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They're trying to take his coffin down.
Oh yeah.
His body down to the coffin.
Looks like part of the Nolan trilogy. They're like walking. They're pallbearers carrying the coffin. They're having an argument about the color of their suits, and it doesn't matter what color it is.
They drop the coffin. It slides down the stairs. It hits a cab. The body flies out.
I'm sorry,
and it lands in an open manhole. And they're like, "Oh, quick, get his body!" And they're like, "Oh, he's halfway through whatever." And
He's
like,
halfway
"Oh, well."
to the harbor. Oh wow.
That's how your opening movie starts.
Wow.
The Alan Silvestri score. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's been.
Why do I get Big Fish vibes from this?
No, it's not as fantasy. You know what? It's kind of like borderline fantasy-ish. But sorry, go on because you haven't said what.
It's interesting you bring up because I get like a Coen Brothers flavor from this, like early '90s, like Coen Brothers vibe from this.
Oh, like Raising Arizona.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Where it's like you have these larger in life characters, and they have to they're just covered in mishaps.
I get kind of like a old school like 1930s and 40s hijink kind of movies.
Well, I was gonna mention
from buddy comedies. So go on about you haven't said what like the main thing.
The
is
main
about.
plot is sorry. So yeah, Lars and Ernie, they don't have much to go on with life, so they find out that they have in their inheritance they have this old rundown like mansion in the middle of nowhere, and they live there and because it's all they have now, and they realize that it's actually a very valuable like antique house.
Charles Lars LaRue.
No, Charles Lyle LaRue.
Oh, there we go.
There's
a good name. There's a good thing too. He had a house.
I got a house.
So there's a good name. There's a good Lyle.
Yeah.
So does this Lyle?
It breaks the curse.
So does this Lyle not get a hand of God come down and literally cancel him out of the flock?
Oh, George of the Jungle 2. Totally not.
I still can't get over that's how Lyle got
eliminated. That was an awful movie movie, but that was an underrated scene.
There is something mischievous. There's something mischievous happening in this house.
So yeah, they want to sell this house because it's super freaking valuable, but there's one problem. They have a pest, a single mouse that lives in this house, and it does nothing but cause them like endless turmoil throughout the entire movie because they need to get rid of it. They're worried it's going to ruin the valuability of the house. And in the process of trying to get rid of this mouse, they ruin the house. So much rhyming. They're causing like more. It's becoming more. How do I say? It's becoming more trouble than it's worth just to get rid of this mouse because it's like super intelligent in this movie. It's almost like Tom and Jerry levels. And that's another thing I like about this movie. It's slapstick, but it's done like.
Is this really animated or live action?
Live action.
Live action, yes. Yeah, I should mention that Ernie and Lars are played by Nathan Lane and Lee Evans, and I love their chemistry together.
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
Like, it almost reminds me of like The Producers, which is funny because Nathan Lane would later be in that. And Lee Evans, too, for the Broadway production. They reunited for that.
Oh, for the Producers?
Yeah, like the Broadway show.
The only movie I remember Lee Evans in was There's Something About Mary.
Yeah, he's also in The Fifth
Element. He
Element.
played the con man Yeah. Oh, Fifth Element? He was in that?
He's in there
Oh, that's right, he was in that! I just watched that this past summer.
He was a sailor outfit. Like,
that's right.
Get in the line!
That's right. Yes, there's 2 movies I know with him. Nathan Lane, oh my god, have you guys seen The Birdcage?
Yes.
No. Oh my god, he's wonderful in that movie. So over the top.
Awful. The horrible, ugly thing. Yeah, no, yeah, that's one of his best performances. I really love him in this movie. He's just so, like, he's so camp and he's so, like, larger than life. He's, like, the sneakier one of the 2.
I'm surprised you haven't seen this, Evan. You will actually dig it.
I'll have to check it out.
It's a great little set design, too, of, like, the house. It's just old. It's very shanty, the movie. It's old-fashioned. It's a throwback.
The production design's excellent. And it's weird. Like, the cinematography is really neat.
Really nice.
It's like almost Barry Sonnenfeld levels of, like, I feel the expanse of this area.
I agree.
And the music by Alan Silvestri. It has, like, that effect of, like, the song In the Hall of the Mountain King?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Just this rising tension throughout that.
That's a great comparison, actually.
Very similar in like design.
And I guess who's also in it who plays an exterminator.
Oh,
Christopher Walken. My first performance I've ever seen him play in. It was either this or Batman Returns was the first movie that I ever saw.
I think this must have been the first movie I ever seen Christopher Walken in.
As a mouse, you are the intruder.
Yeah, he played. What's his character's name? Is Caesar? I think.
Caesar.
Oh, he's such a weirdo. He's almost like Dale Gribble. Like he gets so into his job.
He finds like mouse shit, and he's just like examining it. And then he eats it. He's like, oh, it's like there's calcium in this. A lot of calcium.
Yeah, because he eats a whole wheel of cheese.
Oh god.
Oh, I know how much you love that scene where they set mouse traps all throughout the kitchen.
Straight out of a Jackass.
Yeah, but they it's like when you paint yourself into a corner, they can't get out of the room.
Wow. No. My favorite scene from this movie, because it just makes me laugh so much, because you don't necessarily see the aftermath after a pratfall. So through a series of just crazy shit of them trying to get the mouse, it was
I don't know the scenario.
It was Nathan Lane's character. What was his name?
Ernie.
I think it was him trying to. Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, he was climbing the.
He's trying to climb up the.
See him, Lars.
He's trying to climb up the chimney, and as he keeps climbing, it keeps getting narrow, and he gets stuck. Right, and then his brother's like, "I'll go get a flashlight. Hang on." And then he finds a match, but he didn't know that the mouse took out the fucking gas thing.
Yeah,
he turned on the gas
leak in the room.
And as he's trying to light it, he's like, wait a minute, do you smell that? It smells like gas. And like, wait a minute. And like, he lights it, and like a fucking inferno, it shoots him out of the fucking chimney. He goes flying up into the sky. This is probably the most over-the-top scene in the movie.
Oh, wow,
then he lands in a pond. Both of them are burnt, and then like, this is the part that kills me. They join, they he gets back to the house, and they're looking at each other, and they're all like, fucked up. They're like,
you know what? Like, now I'm getting Home Alone vibes.
Well, that's the thing. The movie has this kind of a Home Alone vibe to it. Of like,
it does.
Like they're not like they're sympathetic, but they're not like crooks.
Right.
Like you kind of feel bad for them. They're just like really down on their luck schmucks.
Yeah.
Like,
like what the crappy Home Alone reboot did.
Oh god.
Dawn
No,
and
Sweet Home Alone.
We don't talk about that.
No, this is not done correctly.
Yeah.
No, and remember the guy that wanted to buy the house,
The Russian guy.
the Russian guy. How he's just like, I own so many of these places. Give me, and then he goes, my water, please. And then he just gets a water from one of his henchmen. And I love how like Nathan Lane's like looking behind, like, where'd the water come from? And he starts talking about something else. Then he goes, vegetarian snack.
Vegetarian snack.
And then he has a fucking cucumber out of nowhere. And then Nathan Lane's like, looking behind, like, where is this stuff coming from? Like, I love the little subtle shit in this movie.
Oh, you want to talk about gross out humor? This movie is gross.
Oh.
What was the vacuum
Yeah,
part? Oh god.
The stinks! The mouse stinks! Oh, vermin stink!
They're shoving a vacuum through a hole in the wall where the mouse is, but they don't know that the other end is literally latched on
to the sump pump.
To the sump pump. So it's literally pumping
all the
septic waste into the fucking bag, and they turn around and it's like a huge bag. It cuts to the outside where the mouse is, and you just see this.
Oh god.
No,
and then a guy coming over that's like foreclosing the house, he like comes over and they're just covered in shit.
Oh, god.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm looking at I look at the cast on IMDb. There's some good people in this. There's Vicki Lewis.
Yes.
Lars's
She's
soon to be ex-wife.
She's in.
Oh my god! Look at
News
this
Radio, right?
Ernie Sabella is.
Oh
in this
yeah,
movie.
that's another thing. It's a reunite. It's a reunion of Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, Ernie Sabella.
The guy who plays Pumbaa is like the guy who works at the vet.
Ernie
Remember
Sabella.
that vet scene where they get the cat?
Oh, that was him.
That's the big fat guy. He's like, all right, you want the cat? We got Clawzilla or
Catzilla. Oh yeah, there's like a fucking crazy demonic cat in this movie that's like terrifying.
Oh, I like cats.
Oh, this is like the worst. I'm talking one mean pussy. You just take that fucking line out of context. No, I adore this movie, and I'm so happy it holds up.
Me too.
It's such a gem.
I have to check this out.
Gore Verbinski has like a very nice like child at heart sensibilities with his movies. I mean, the Pirates movies. You know, you've seen there's just like this fun energy to this movie.
Even though Jack Sparrow is essentially an alcoholic the whole movie. Like there's a sense of camaraderie.
It's funny. I read a story about his life. He actually used to be a punk rocker.
Gore Verbinski?
Really?
He was in a punk band, and then he developed an interest in film, so he sold his guitar, bought the cheapest camera he could afford, and then he went on to make some of the highest grossing movies of all time.
That's so funny.
Wow.
That's inspiring to a guy like me.
Yeah.
No, this movie is like so.
And not a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah. The reason why I think it's underrated is because, like, for a kids movie or whatever it's trying to be, it's really well made.
Yeah.
Like the level of effort put in on display shows. Like I said, like every single department did not slack on this, and it's interesting. I can't. Every time I watch it, I try to pinpoint what decade it's set in. Because sometimes it feels like the 30s. I think it's largely because of the slapstick. It's very Stooge level. And then there's like 50s or 60s designs, like when we go to Lars's house and it has all that green wallpaper.
Even the cars too.
There's the automobiles.
They have a Beetle. Yeah,
the fashion. I can't tell.
That's an interesting.
I can't tell. It feels like the early part of like the 21st century, like the industrial era. I don't know exactly what time period it is. And there's modern stuff like exterminators and like cars that have like bugs on them and stuff. But it's like, I don't know what period it is, and it's always fascinating. It almost gives it like this timeless quality, too.
Absolutely.
I remember when I was a kid, and this is my final point, I always used to watch this movie back to back with, you guys ever seen Polly?
Polly?
Oh, the parrot?
Yeah, the one with Jay Moore.
I know why. Because I had MouseHunt on VHS, and one of the previews before the movie was Polly.
Yeah, I
associate that.
Oh.
It's the parrot, the green parrot.
Yeah,
I know, but because of the preview. Yeah,
that is a nice double feature, though. I had a VHS that had both of them on there, and I'd always watch them back to back. It's nice, but yeah, MouseHunt really, really, too many people sleep on it.
I always associate Polly or MouseHunt or Small Soldiers all together because that was around when DreamWorks was just starting up, or Galaxy Quest,
or Madeline.
Galaxy Quest was 99.
They were all just trying to figure out like entertainment, at that time. Like it was all this weird stuff, like a movie about guys and a mouse, a movie about a bird, a fucking like basically Toy Story, but like done by like directed by Sid Phillips.
Hey, that's my Letterboxd.
His Small Soldiers and like Galaxy Quest. It's like this weird like kind of retro kind of Star Trek.
It was a love
homage.
letter to Star Trek fans.
It's the best Star Trek movie, and it's not even a Star Trek movie.
I need to rewatch it.
It's wonderful.
Okay, Cody. So I guess we've talked about our kids' movies.
All right, well, now we're on to the final kids movie of the night, I guess.
No, mine's a kids movie.
Yeah,
My
it
next
is.
one's a kids movie.
Oh, your next one's a kids movie. So you have two of them. Okay.
Oh, yeah, two. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm talking about this movie. It's called A Ridiculous Film from 1995. It's a movie about a father and a son that goes on a road trip together, where the son is a brat and the father is a lighthearted but kind of oblivious that his son doesn't like him. And the father is played by your uncle, it's Goofy.
Bill Farmer?
Bill Farmer. No, a Goofy movie, guys.
Oh, a Goofy movie.
A Goofy movie.
Wait. This is underrated? I thought it attained I thought some people are going as far as to say it's like an unofficial Renaissance movie.
Hey, did anyone ask me what's the best Disney film that came out in 1995? People say Pocahontas. I say
fuck that.
I say a Goofy movie.
I say Toy Story, but that's just me.
That's Pixar.
Fair enough.
Well, that was.
I wasn't thinking that. It was Pixar, but sure.
Was that before Disney acquired?
Disney didn't acquire Pixar till 2006.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
No,
on technicality,
Goofy movie is so much better than most of those Disney Renaissance films.
Yeah.
Aside, I said in the Mulan podcast we did, I said my top three are. I was going to say The Jungle Book. No, sorry.
That's an old.
No, sorry. I was going to say The Lion King, Mulan, and a Goofy movie are my three favorite Disney films of all time.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So a Goofy movie, how I was kind of just said, it humanizes Goofy in a very interesting way, where it's modern day 90s. That's probably why it's kind of has my little. You got Pauly Shore playing his best friend in the movie.
Shut up!
Little tower of Jesus.
Bobby,
that was gross.
Bobby's great. Yeah.
Pete. Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron.
You have Pete. You have
seriously,
Max.
that's Carl from.
Yeah, Carl from Jimmy Neutron.
I knew those voices.
Max, Pete, and Bobby. Yeah, they're all friends.
And you got Roxanne.
Oh yes, Roxanne.
You don't have to put on the red light.
She's like a teenager.
What I like about Roxanne is that she just feels like she's like a popular girl, but she also is kind of awkward and weird at the same time.
Yeah,
she's kind of like Max, but
she's
they
preppy,
click.
you know.
Yeah. She's very preppy. That's a good.
It feels like she tries really hard to fit in with the popular kids, but doesn't really know how.
But essentially, what it's about, is that Goofy through word of mouth that he finds out that he feels very distant from his son. His son's just it's the 90s, it's cool, it's hip, and going yug is not cool.
Yeah.
So I was about to say
Veronica.
I don't know why I was about to say Veronica.
It's funny.
I think because you blew a kiss. And I think because it was
I was sending that to my Veronica.
I know, because I'm oh, did you send that to Veronica? So I'm about to say Goofy, but I said Veronica.
Roxanne actually reminds me of my Veronica quite a bit.
Aw,
A little?
They even have the same birthmark.
Play some Powerline for her. Impress her.
In a school symbol.
Oh, geez, I'm jumping around. So Goofy decides, my father took me out for a fishing trip when I was a kid. I'm going to do the same thing with Max, right? So they go to Lake Destiny, and they are going to bond. That's his intention.
They actually never make it to Lake Destiny.
Oh, they don't?
Kind of spoilers.
Yes, spoilers, because Max kind of manipulates the trip in a very sleazy way at first. You're oh, this is kind of shitty. But then you kind of learn where he's trying to impress Roxanne, saying, I'm going to this Powerline concert. And Powerline is this pop star that's a combination of Prince and Michael Jackson.
He's
the shit, back then he would have been the shit. He's saying, "Oh, my dad knows Powerline. They used to play together in a band. So we're on our way to LA to go see him in concert, and I'm gonna jump on stage and I'll say hi to you." So he's like, "Fuck, I really got to make this happen." So
I gotta get the girl.
This movie is just a wonderful father and son story.
It does not need to be as good as it is.
It doesn't. How is this movie as great as it is? It's a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
It is a Goofy movie, and it is a Goofy movie. How can you? I have to repeat my sentence again because it is.
You got a mouse and you got a house. You know? Like, sometimes you gotta
the mouse even makes a cameo in in the Open Road song.
Yeah, we do.
I think. Oh yeah. And that's another thing.
And Donald is there too.
Yeah, Donald and Mickey make a cameo. Actually, what's strange is that when at the opening scene after
the horrifying nightmare.
I change into my dad nightmare, and he wakes up. His phone, Max's phone, is like a Mickey phone.
I remember
like merchandise, but then Mickey's also in the movie. It's like what the fuck? Like
Disney was too meta that they broke.
And also, his car keys has the Disney logo on it. Did you notice that?
Also,
right before On the Open Road was about to start, the keys like kind of jingling.
Right.
It had a Disney.
Walt Disney himself is acknowledged as a real person that exists in this world. So.
Yeah, they're like, think of a name. Man. Is it Walt Disney? Yes. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I guess that they're referring to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, the creator.
Hey, aren't you?
I think of a man. I think of a letter. I think of somebody. Starts with a G. God. Okay, yeah, there you go.
George Bush.
Wow.
Fuck, there are so many wonderful moments in this movie. Like, a scene that I love, actually, it's probably my favorite scene, is like after Goofy finds out that like Max manipulated the map so that they can go to LA instead of Lake Destiny, and he's just like heartbroken that his son did this. And finally, when they get to that crossroad, he's like, "Yes, go left, like left, right, go left. We're going to LA," and a great scene that's a combination of like, yes, this works so well, this tone, and a wacky hijinks scene where their car is going off the cliff, it's hitting rocks, it goes into the river, into the canal, and they're floating, and they're having like basically what's supposed to be the low point argument of our main characters, right? In this wacky scene, and that just like hits you so hard at the point where like Max puts his foot down and says, "I'm not your son anymore. I'm not your little boy. I'm now an adult. I'm grown up. I'm a grown up now." And
I know that.
And yeah, Goofy says, "I know that, but I just want to be a part of it." Sorry,
that hits home.
Sorry.
The scene that always gets me is the Hi Dad soup scene.
Oh yeah.
You used to spell little names in your soup, you know, like ambidextrous? No, little words. Like
no, little words.
Like just like, you know, like a hi dad or a hi I love you. And you're like, oh. It just hits.
The darkest scene in the movie for me that made me uncomfortable even when I was a kid is the scene where he takes Max to that stupid possum show.
Oh
that's
God,
like,
I would fucking hate going there.
Yo, and Goofy's just having.
Didn't you say it's redneck Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's Chuck E. Cheese for rednecks.
Come here, down.
No, like,
you get to have your own possum hat.
No, the way that
it may or may not be alive.
So the way that like Max gets embarrassed, Goofy just wants to have the time of his life, and I don't think Max is a dick for like being the party pooper in that scene, because like I would feel if my dad was being this cornball at this place and trying to get me into this shit, like, and he was trying to dance with me in front of complete strangers, I'd be fucking pissed too.
And that scary shot where it's like 360 all these faces.
Yeah. Oh, that haunted me as a kid.
I've seen that really. I wouldn't say haunted me, but I'll say like it's so memorable from the lighting and just the intensities when when the glove compartment opens up and the map rolls out. Yeah. And it's just this orange light.
Like I said, this movie,
like the tension. Yes, like oh my god, my dad's waking up. I gotta change the map.
That's why I'm saying
so good.
That's why I'm saying this movie does not need to be as good as it is, but it's visually stunning. The symbolism is through the roof.
And can you believe? Oh wait, was it direct to video? Or was it
no, it was theatrical.
Well, even that.
There was no way they could have... That stellar animation, if that was direct-to-video, then that's the best-looking direct-to-video.
I think the sequel was direct-to-video.
The sequel was direct-to-video.
Which I didn't grow up with, and I watched it years later. I mean, I grew up with an extremely goofy movie. A goofy movie is for millennials, and an extremely goofy movie is for Gen Zs. That's how I
got a confession, Cody.
Oh, no. Don't say it's better. Don't say it's better.
I grew up with extremely goofy movies.
Because you were into skateboarding.
And I haven't seen a Goofy movie since I was like in my mid-20s.
I hate.
Okay, you know what? Like, it just resets the whole thing. Like, oh, now I'm embarrassed for my dad joining me in college. Like, it's like, have you not learned?
It's not very good.
No,
It's like
no.
Max does a complete circle.
Here's the thing. They could have.
But it's so cool because skateboarding's cool, man.
By the way,
Yeah,
remember,
coffee and caffeine.
Remember the Weekenders?
Disney owns ESPN. You will remember that forever
Oh.
and ever and ever. But yeah, going back to but that scene where back at the possum where like it gets all dark and rainy and Max actually would rather take his chances hitchhiking than go with his dad. That's dark.
And he flips out.
I'm not gonna. I blew my vocal cords from the last temper
You drive
tantrum.
me all the way across the country to the stupid rat show. Call me when the trip is over.
Yeah, and then as they drive away, like the rat hat looks like roadkill, like illuminated against the background. It's a beautiful.
No, it's beautiful. The Bigfoot scene.
Can you back up a bit, Mr. Foot? You're out of focus.
Do
you know what? That's a joke. That's a
I just
jab
like when the Walkman lands on his head and he's listening to "Staying Alive," and you just see him in the background doing the dancing. That's wonderful.
But you know the whole that line, "You're out of focus." That's a nod at the fact that all the videos of Bigfoot that we know of are all out of focus. So that's why no one really knows if Bigfoot is real.
Oh, I just got that.
You just got that now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't. I just thought because he's not scared. You know, because like Max is like, "It's Bigfoot," and always just like, "Hey, can you step back? You're out of focus." I just thought it was like, "Oh, you're oblivious that you guys are in danger." Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's clever. That's really clever, actually.
Yeah. I'm pretty. So you just figured that out now. Happy
This movie is like the wild card of the Disney Renaissance. It's not even considered in the Disney's Renaissance.
That's why some people say unofficially it is.
Unofficially, it is. Well, but you'd have to consider like Rescuers Down Under, right?
Yeah. No, Rescuers Down Under has kind of. Well, because
it's in that weird. Like,
it came out between. Down Under came out between Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. That's right. I just think you know what's funny. I just watched recently this movie called Come On, Come On, directed by Mike Mills. Cool. With Joaquin Phoenix. It's like a black and white movie.
Nice. The uncle one. Right?
It's probably the greatest uncle and nephew story I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, wow.
And I feel the same way about a Goofy movie. Where this might be my favorite father and son story.
Yeah.
Because it's too damn good. The perfect cast scene. Like what a great payoff. It pays off so wonderfully, and like the fact that like they set that up of like oh my father used to show me this thing called perfect cast. You know when you cast your fishing line.
When you said perfect casting, I thought you meant the voice acting.
Oh no, sorry, the perfect cast. The perfect cast.
Yeah,
perfect casting.
First go like this, spin around, stop, double take 3 times. No, that's SpongeBob. That's SpongeBob. No. But it pays off so wonderfully at the end where like Max saves his father's life for that. And the fact that this is the first time, and I brought this up and no one has ever brought this up, this is the first time we actually are afraid of Goofy's life. He's about to die of a waterfall and he screams his son's name, Max. It's not the Max! Like he's about to die. It's the first time we actually are scared for Goofy's life.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
It's probably a stone thought I had when I watched it.
But this movie, like the stakes were just crazy.
And the songs, nobody else but you.
After today,
After today. Well, you have to differentiate the songs that are sung by the characters, and then there's also the Powerline songs.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like Stand Down, Eye to Eye.
Stand Out, Eye to Eye.
Stand Out, Eye to Eye. And After Today, On the Open Road.
Yeah.
What was the other one? I think I'm missing another one. I think that's it, actually.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Unless if I think of another one.
Do you guys have anything else to say? Because I got one more funny thing to tell you guys. But...
Go ahead.
Well, I've said this in my Letterboxd review, but like that movie kind of has the one. I don't have a lot of memories with my granddad, but the one on the open road actually is the closest thing I have to a memory with him because like he and I used to sing that song when we would go on car trips. In fact, it got to a point where he was like, "Evan, we're going to the Goofy car. Let's go." Like, oh man, yeah, because he knew I liked that movie. And
what a vast it's like a melting pot on the road that he there's like nuns, a prisoner, like
a guy comes back from the dead.
A guy comes back from the dead. There's just so many people on this fucking highway.
Yeah.
When you actually look at it, there's so many people.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the funniest thing you guys are gonna. This is another like gullible Cody moment from his childhood.
yeah.
So when I was about 8 years old, it was Thanksgiving dinner at my nana's house, and it was a full house, and we needed to find like a lot of chairs in the house. And I remember my uncle was like running around trying to find like some few chairs. He's like, I couldn't find any, and I went, oh, actually, Sean, there's actually an extra kitchen. There's an extra kitchen chair downstairs, and also there's an electric chair at the computer.
Oh.
And he kind of looked at me like, what? I'm like, there's a kitchen chair downstairs, and there's an electric chair. And I'm like, he's like, an electric chair? What are you talking about? I went, the chair at the computer. So it turns out that sometime when I saw this movie as a kid, and that scene where the principal calls Goofy and was like, you better straighten out your kid, Goofy, before he ends up in the electric chair. I must have asked my mom what an electric chair was, and she told me that those are like office chairs with the wheels.
Electric powered wheels, you know.
I literally called those electric chairs for the longest time.
You were spared a painful lesson because when I asked my mom what an electric chair was, my mom told 7-year-old me what it was.
Oh, it's a execution with electricity for bad people. My mom just didn't want. I was just too young, and that goes back to what I was saying before about
what principal says that to a parent.
Wallace Shawn, goddammit.
Yeah, Wallace Shawn.
Inconceivable.
but that's what I was saying. Like when I was I said it before how like some movies had balls. Yeah. That movie had fucking balls to say that. Like Edge. Today it would be straighten out your kid before he ends up in jail. It's like, ugh.
Doesn't have the same punch.
Doesn't have the same fucking punch.
Yeah.
And the fact that, and that scene too, it's like pushing on Goofy's face in the lighting. It's like getting darker in the room. It's like
the principal looks freaking maniacal. He's like, before he ends up in the electric chair.
Like, he hangs up.
If when I have kids, if my principal ever talks to me about my kid like that, to quote you, Cody, I'll go to jail for murder. Happily. Maybe I'll wind up in a fucking electric chair.
No,
they don't have a death penalty in Canada, so that's not possible.
Well, no, fucking computer chairs, they're electrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a gullible fucking story that I'll take to my grave. Because I called those, oh my god, so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But anyways, a Goofy movie, it's an underrated gem in the facade of a lot of Disney films, and it's I think you just said it best. It shouldn't be this great.
Yeah.
And yet it is.
Yeah. Okay, so my next movie, I decided to pick this because we got a fuck ton of snow a month ago. So I'm talking about the movie Snow Day.
Ah, I've seen this.
Oh, Lyle, have you seen?
I have not.
You've not seen Snow Day. Okay.
Sorry, I keep undercutting this. I get excited.
No,
I get excited.
He gets so excited. He gets all his thoughts out right away.
Sorry.
Okay.
And then we have
I was going to say, I love the enthusiasm of this movie. It doesn't all quite come together, in my opinion, but I love the enthusiasm.
Well,
I love the exaggeration of this movie.
Yeah.
I love what it has going for it. It just happens to be kind of lame with the comedy.
Well, let me give you a perspective of what it's like. So there is a nuclear family of 5 in suburbia, and it tells us, the point is a snow day happens, and it basically dives into 4 different storylines once the snow day begins. Storyline number 1 involves this moody teenage boy named Hal, who is trying to pick up this cute girl with the help of his 2 best friends, one of whom is a platonic female friend. But will he discover feelings for her along the way?
Isn't there like there's like an ankle bracelet? Something?
I know.
Yeah.
His crush was an avid swimmer, and he stalks her at the pool. One day he falls into the water by accident, and this is an actual line from the movie. Lyle, you'll like this. My original idea was to stay underwater until I died. But luckily, the deep end had other plans for me. And he notices her ankle bracelet that she lost while swimming.
It's at the bottom of the pool.
now he has a fucking excuse to talk to her and give the bracelet back.
There's a scene where he's sitting at his desk with the lamp on, and it's playing I'll Be Waiting for a Girl Like You by Foreigner. And he's just like sniffing and admiring the fucking like...
Yeah.
And then sister's at the doorway, and what are you doing?
And then there's a record scratch.
There's the record scratch like,
what are you doing? Get out of my room. I didn't say come here. But But yeah, so and by
Storyline number one.
That's storyline number one.
It should be this should be a television show. This
Storyline number two is Lyle. It kind of reminds me of like a. Not necessarily Go, because the stories don't really interconnect.
It sounds like there's a lot going on.
But yeah,
there's different stories that it bounces around.
No, there's 4 different stories.
This is a Nickelodeon movie.
Yes,
it is. Yeah,
one of the first ones.
I think if correct me if I'm not mistaken, was it Harriet the Spy, or was it Snow Day that was the first live action Nickelodeon movie? It was Harriet the Spy, because I know the Rugrats movie was the first animated Nickelodeon movie.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So
this movie's directed by a guy named Chris Koch.
How do you spell his last name?
Koch.
Oh, so like Fred Fucks.
I was about to say, bring out the jar.
Oh fuck! The dick jars. We're gonna owe a fortune to the dick jar.
Who do we donate the dick jar to?
Snow Day. So the storyline number 2 in Snow Day involves the father, played by Chevy Chase. Now, Chevy Chase, he plays this down-on-his-luck meteorologist who has to do these stupid-ass in-character weather reports, and his main competition is this big douchebag that hogs all the TV ratings, and they have to beat him because the station is apparently, like, in trouble for, like, being bought out or some shit. So, in order to get back at this big meteorologist, like, he keeps trying to one-up him, but the dad played by Chevy Chase, is the first meteorologist in the whole region that discovers the big snow is on its way. And, but the big douchey, his competitor acts like he was the first guy to discover it. So he goes and humiliates this asshole. And it turns out this guy is a dumbass. He has no clue how precipitation works. And
yeah, he's like, where does this come from? He picks up snow. Where does this come from? And he's like, it comes down from Canada. And it creates this thing called the light stuff, or something like that.
Yeah, and then a kid chucks
a snowball at his
face. And so that's storyline number 2. Storyline number 3.
You said there's 5 of these?
No, there's 4 of these.
Okay, good.
The third one involves...
There's also a villain.
There's a villain.
I know who it is played by.
This is where I'll hold up. So basically, Hal's little sister Natalie is out to basically enjoy the snow day with her friends, and like they build a snow fort in a giant snowbank where they actually have like a TV and a beanbag of like, I wish I did this.
They're playing Nintendo inside of a snow
how the
fort.
heck are you able to do this?
That's amazing.
Like, I don't know how you're able to do this, but I'm not going to question. I'm just going to enjoy. So her and her friends are threatened by the villain, Snowplow Man. And Snowplow Man is this creepy-ass motherfucker played by Chris Elliott.
He always plays a creepy-ass motherfucker.
He's a guy that has, like, rotten teeth, and he has, like, what? Does he have an animal or something?
He has a pet crow named Trudy.
Crow.
Trudy?
Trudy?
It's the weirdest thing ever. And
he's a guy that's like, I'm gonna plow every road so you guys get to go to school tomorrow.
Trudeau the Crow.
Oh yeah,
that would have worked.
Oh yeah. And anyways, so
whatever.
Essentially, no, Trudeau the Crow. That's a good one.
No, go on.
So his whole shtick is the kids think he's evil because apparently there are like rumors about how he's murdered kids. By, like, running them over with his plow. Yeah, it's never really confirmed.
So it's like in Home Alone with the old man guy.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like myth.
And it's like mythos. So the whole... Natalie and her friend's goal is essentially to stop him from plowing all the roads so they can have a legendary second snow day, like 2 snow days in a row, because apparently 2 snow days in a row is unheard of. So, there's...
Try moving to Canada.
Yeah. No, these guys live, like, in northern U.S., like, southern New York state. So, they kind of understand... They don't really understand the concept of a second snow day, but that's for the movie.
There's, like... I don't even know if it's, like, coming of age. It's just sort of, like... There's just so much exaggeration to the movie.
It really isn't. Okay,
the subplot with the older brother is like just generic.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's
kind of
literally generic.
It is. It's a generic teenage boy has a crush, and then he does something about it, and then discovers something he didn't know.
But there are funny bits in it.
Yeah, there are actually 2 villains. You forgot. There's 2 villains. There's Snowplow Man that the kids have to deal with, and then the teen Hal has to deal with the douchebag jock boyfriend of the girl he likes, named Chuck Wheeler.
Oh, I remember one part that made me laugh during that
The snowmobile
snowmobile scene where he's like, "Hi, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Greg or whatever.
He'll be hurting you today.
He'll be hurting you today." And he's like next to him on it, so he's like, "Hi there," and he tries to grab him and like fucking throw him off.
Yeah.
Like there's a funny. I'm so rude. I didn't introduce you to my other friend, Steve. And
I love this part.
There's another guy right behind him in a snow.
Yeah.
This movie sounds absolutely
Bonk.
And guess who's also in it playing the girl's best friend? One of the friends.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Peck.
That's right.
Josh Peck, yeah.
Back when he was like a little chubby, funny kid.
For some reason, the kid farts a lot, and they play that generic farting stock. That stupid noise.
That's the one.
I was looking at the cast list. Iggy Pop's in this movie?
All right, yeah.
Oh, doesn't he play the guy that's
He's the DJ at the skating ring.
he falls? Oh yeah, he falls for like that. Someone wrote something really bad graffiti in the bathroom or something like that.
Yeah. He falls for that, and then
not rock.
It's funny how I didn't watch this movie that much, but I guess I did because I remember it kind of well.
Yeah.
You guys, you apparently do.
So the fourth storyline, which actually is my least favorite, the mother of this family has to stay home and look after this bratty toddler. I can do without that.
I don't remember that one.
She's trying to. She is apparently trying to score a big promotion at work, but she can't go into the office because the snows are all the streets are all snowed in.
Man,
so she has to work from home.
If only you could work at home with a computer.
Yeah. And by the way,
you wouldn't even have to do that.
That dates well.
You could do that for a whole year or two.
Yeah. So anyway, so she winds up working from home, and then basically. I'm not really sure what we learned by the end of this movie because, like, the kids literally commit a felony. The kids the kids carjack a snowplow. Like, seriously.
No, they literally unplow all the roads.
They unplow. They go on the sidewalk and just plow.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see that, I don't think, but that's what happens. They got their legendary second snow day by the end, and then they tied the snowplow man behind, like on a fucking. Like
street side.
What the hell was Bart Simpson doing all this? Was he studying for an exam?
Yeah, he was.
I do appreciate the exaggeration of this movie, but I just don't think all of it comes together quite well.
It's kind of messy. There's four different storylines, and only two of them actually. Some of them connect. It's all there. It's from the family.
But Nickelodeon, I can definitely tell them that I can tell that they're trying to have that appeal.
Yeah. In terms of a slapstick, there's a running slapstick gag with this douchey school principal who's pissed, who's salty because the school got closed, and he is the victim of Snowball Armageddon.
Oh, it's like a scene straight out of like a Godfather or something where he's trying to get to his car and he feels like there's like a presence. And it's just all the kids like behind snowbanks, just like locked and loaded with snowballs, and they just throw it at him.
Yeah,
and it's like the Bart Simpson thing in Mr. Plow. It's like
Yeah.
All right, I want to see this. This sounds
okay. We'll have to.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
We'll have to watch.
I'm sure, but
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's a fine movie, but it's underrated because not a lot of people talk about it. But it has like this sort of charm to it. Where
it sounds like it's a throwback to like '90s kids movie.
It is.
Oh, it is. It was released in the year 2000.
Wait. Was it directed by? Was it the same person that did Big Fat Liar?
No, that was Sean Levy.
That was Sean Levy.
Levy.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, they feel like very similar.
The most successful comedy hack of all time.
Sean Levy.
Oh,
he produced Stranger Things. He's okay, Mike.
Oh, he produced Stranger Things.
Good, yeah.
He makes like big budgeted dumb rom-coms and comedies. Yeah. He's successful. He knows how to make the moolah. He makes money.
The last thing I want to end this note on is the reason why I had no clue what this movie was. I actually didn't see this movie until the summer of 2003. Yeah, no, I saw a movie called Snow Day in the middle of the summer. The reason for that was because
2003.
I saw it in 2003, but because I was in an after.
I thought that was 1998.
Okay, the movie Snow Day came out in 2000. I'm explaining. The movie Snow Day came out in 2000, in the winter of 2000, and it came in.
You watched the VHS or something, right?
No. Here's the thing. I watched the VHS in an after-school program in the summer. The reason the program runners were like, "Yeah, no, it's so hot today, so we're gonna play a movie that makes you feel cold." So the movie Snow Day. So perfect choice. But then but when it came out in January, February of 2000, I remember I got invited to a birthday party where we were going to go see that, and my best friend was going to this party. I totally bailed on this party for a bizarre reason because movie theaters gave me I was susceptible to sensory overload.
Yeah, you
So
mentioned that,
movie theaters gave me anxiety back then. Like the last thing I saw in the theater was Toy Story 2, and even then, like parts of it were so loud that I had to cover my ears. It was great visual experience, but sensory wise, it was crazy. Right. So I didn't like going to movie theaters very often. Like you were back then, my parents were lucky if they could get my reluctant ass into a theater once a year. So Toy Story 2 and Tarzan were the only two movies I saw in 1999 in the theater. But in the year 2000, the only movie I have any recollection of seeing was Dinosaur. And we're not going to talk about that underrated movie because you guys don't like it. But the point is...
The opening scene is great.
The opening scene's great. Rest of the movie... Nah.
Yeah.
But so back to Snow Day. So
you saw it in theaters?
No. I was invited to a birthday party to go see in the theaters, but because I was scared of sensory overload, I declined the invitation.
Okay, so you did
But I could never but my mom was actually kind of mad at me because she was like, Evan, your best friend's going to be there. Like, you're going to have the chance to, make some new friends. It's like, no, I couldn't explain that I was uncomfortable with the sensory overload, so my mom just thought I was being like an antisocial, moody prick. So she respected my decision. No, she respected my decision ultimately. But now that I look back on it, some 22 odd years later, Andrew Ball, if you're listening to this, I am so sorry. I wish I came because I later did see Snow Day and I loved it. So I'm sorry, man. I hope you're well. Thank you.
All right,
that's it. What's next?
Confessions from Evan.
All right, guys. I'm sick of all this kiddie bullshit.
Oh.
I'm sick of all these little kids movies.
Have you had it with these motherfucking kids movies on this motherfucking podcast?
Yes.
Okay. No,
Monday to Friday kids movies.
Monkey biting kids movies.
I want to talk about something that's just pure trash.
Oh,
just pure unadulterated, like adult trash.
And just to be clear, we're not talking about Snakes on a Plane, despite the reference.
No.
Okay.
But what I can do is a movie that is the very definition of feels like a video game, and that movie is Hardcore Henry.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
I like this one.
I saw it a couple years ago, actually. I didn't see it when it came out.
I did.
This is another one I regret not seeing in the theater too.
I mean, it was an interesting experience. It's kind of funny how like we live in a day where movies feel like games and now games feel like movies.
I know, isn't that an interesting cross section of mediums?
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie, I know some people don't like it. Well, actually, the vast majority of people don't like it, but I gotta admit, like, despite how gimmicky it is
gimmicky.
It's very gimmicky, but I just enjoy like a lot of the set pieces, and I know I can kind of see some of like the duct tape that holds these scenes together. Like they always introduce like blinks to kind of hide cuts. If
it wouldn't be a distracting gimmick if it was like not so repetitive. So it would have worked as like a short film, which I believe it was based on.
No, the director used to make music videos, actually.
Oh, okay.
He did music videos for, like, these bands, and he would always incorporate, like, the first-person perspective. I guess I should go into the story. There's not much to say. We have this cyborg named Henry, who's just been awakened, and he's being taken care of by his lady friend. And then there's an evil, like, conglomerate asshole named Aiken, who has psychic powers. Don't ask me how. And he...
Is he... I don't even remember this. What?
Yeah. Oh, you don't remember Aiken?
Well, he played that. He's played by the guy from District 9, right?
No. I'm getting to that.
Short time Coldplay.
Aiken is basically if you took a bottle of bleach and you poured it all over Tommy Wiseau.
Whoa.
His acting,
I don't even want to imagine what that looks like.
His acting is so crazy. He's like, Russian statistics say more people buy baseball bats than baseballs. Torture is our national pastime. Are you sure, Henry? Are ye sure? Look, his accent's unplaceable. I literally never heard anything like it. But he's great. Okay, so anyways, like this guy wants to kill Henry, and he's kidnapped his baby mama. So he's got to team up with Sharlto Copley, who actually I think does a great job in this because basically his whole character is he's a paraplegic due to Acan, who like brutally like tortured him in one of his experiments. So he wants to get back at him. So he has these cyborgs that are just like him, and they each have different personalities and outfits. So you have Sharlto Copley playing like I don't know, like 10 different people.
He's like an AI.
No, he's not AI.
Oh, no, he's like a...
It's like Avatar.
He's like a cyborg.
No, what do you call it in games where like someone tells you where to go and what to do?
Oh, he's like, yeah, he's
an
objective marker. He's like, hey, I got a mission for you. Go into this brothel.
Like Navi from Ocarina of Time.
I'm not a Zelda guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've never heard, hey, look, listen!
No.
Lyle knows what that's
Yeah. You never cease to stop reminding me about Navi. But anyways, actually, I'd say he's more like Avatar because he has like this like helmet that he puts on so he can like put himself into the mind of the androids. Avatars! He literally says that at one point.
Yeah. Avatars.
Yeah, but no, Sharlto Copley's great. There's just so many bits of... I also love how, like, if Henry thinks of a song, it just plays in the movie like he's imagining it in his head during the scenarios.
Yeah.
And there's a really excellent... I love the final battle in this movie where he has to fight, like, over 50 different cyborgs all at once. And it's, like, it's grisly. He, like, drags people's faces against walls. He, like, cracks bones. I think the best way I could say is... I know this movie's not for everyone, but if you love stuff like Crank... Like just really like,
kinetic, crazy,
like ludicrously
relentless action.
Yeah. Very thin storyline, but like very
Crank 2 High Voltage is a fucking gem.
I love that movie.
That's a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah. But if you're into that kind of stuff, then I think Hardcore Henry's up your alley.
Yeah.
And I know some people complain about the motion sickness. I don't get motion sickness, so maybe I'm just like
I saw it just at home later on, and it didn't. I was just more watching it like, okay, it's neat, like it's kind of wearing off on me, but it's kind of like interesting at the same time.
No, there's something about it that I can't really put my finger on. I remember, Evan, you remember when I used to live with that Russian family?
Yes.
Yeah, they went into my room one day while I was like just putting things away, and they're like, oh yeah, because I had a big Hardcore Henry poster I hung over my wall, like next to my bed. And he's just the when he's like flying into the sky, guns blazing, and he's just like the guy who was living there was just like, oh, Hardcore Henry, because it's a Russian film, right? He was like, oh, I feel so represented. I'm like, oh,
he actually said that.
Yeah,
nice,
cool.
He's like, oh, that's really cool. What else can I fucking say?
I remember the time it came out. I remember I was just about to go see it, but there was like I was like distracted by other stuff. I literally remember it was like spring of 2016 that it came out. I remember I saw like Green Room. I saw like fucking Midnight Specials, Captain America: Civil War that summer. Like I just remember that time period. But then I didn't get around to it till like 2019.
Oh my god!
I know. It wasn't for a while where I was like, hey, I'll throw it on now. Whatever.
No, I love certain sequences, like the car chase, where Henry's on a motorbike, then gets blown up. He jumps onto like a truck. He kills everyone in the fucking truck. He jumps onto another car. Anyway, he falls and he lands on a motorcycle with a girl wearing latex on it, of course. And like he shoots her, and then she dies, and then he jumps. He grabs a grenade, throws it into another truck, blows him up, propels him onto another car, and I'm like,
so much.
They did this with a camera. I don't know how, but they somehow managed to use wires and stuff. Like, it's actually neat how they managed to pull this off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always seamless, but it's sometimes, like, I don't know, it's a neat concept, and it's probably, like, the best Doom movie we're ever gonna get.
Right.
Actually, I would say it's more like it almost feels like a game that Valve would have put out back in the day, like Portal or Half-Life.
Yeah.
Just the cybernetics, and you have to infiltrate areas and stuff. It's neat. There's a lot of winks and nods to like gaming and stuff. And I think this was also like heavily marketed with that Payday 2 game or something like that.
Yeah.
How'd you like Hardcore Henry? I showed it to you.
I've seen it twice. Okay, the movie, I'm very reminded of Crank. and Crank 2 when I watched the movie.
Well, when you have Charlton Copley like doing cocaine while trying to replace Hardcore Henry's or what do I say his full name? Henry's heart, just like I'm way too fucked up to do this.
Yeah.
She's like, it's fucking wild, baby!
Because like Sharto, ever since District 9, Sharto Copley is like, the go-to guy for batshit crazy, hyperactive characters.
Oh, he gives it his all.
He does. Great. Like, if you've seen Elysium or, even that crappy Maleficent movie, like, the guy just loves...
I didn't know he was in...
Oh, who does he play in Maleficent?
In Maleficent, he plays King Stefan. He goes and... Have you seen Maleficent?
No, that's why I asked.
He goes, they have a dark subplot where King Stefan goes insane because he falls in love with Maleficent, but he breaks her heart, and then they try and make it like he's the real villain and not Maleficent. Not a good movie, but at the same time,
he's good in it.
Yeah, no, he's good in it. The reason why I brought him up is because, he's this really volatile actor who, when he is told to play batshit crazy, he'll crank the dial up to 11. Like, he's really good.
Yeah, it's great seeing him. There's even a musical segment where, like, he takes all his avatars and they have the "I got you under my skin." And
I love how it feels like it's all in one take, like kind of like how a video game would play out. So,
yeah, exactly. There's like
I love the fact that it feels like either seamless editing or it really. I can't see it all being shot in one take, but
I think
it's definitely one of the most creative movies I've seen in a long time.
See, has there been a movie that's come out since that's done that type of point of view, kind of all POV. One take, kind of like
no.
So here's the thing: I think that they could make that work better. And a different type of movie. Because I remember when I saw that not shitty, it was kind of stupid, fun, dumb when I watched it, but Unfriended. Do you remember Unfriended?
Yeah, where it's on a computer screen.
Yeah, it's all on a computer screen.
Skype.
And it's ridiculous. Like, it's like a haunting kind of thing. Like, I'm like, okay, the idea of this works well. It just needs to be not a demonic, stupid horror film.
Wasn't Searching the same deal?
Yes, so then years later, Searching comes out, and it's like, okay, it's not a great movie, but it's definitely an effective, entertaining movie about just a father trying to find his missing daughter.
Okay.
And it's the same idea. It takes place all on a computer screen. They just do things a little bit better. So I'm like, okay, yes, there's room for improvement in this kind of concept, and I feel the same way about this kind of point of view, kind of,
So rather than like an action movie, you think it could be tempered into something a little bit more mannered and like classy?
Hey, what if it's like a I
can see like a horror movie where it's a guy hiding in a closet and there's like a monster in his house. What
if it's like a date movie? Like a guy that goes on dates.
And you see like the perspective of him getting with the lady or something.
That would actually be.
That could be one scene. Sure.
You know what? Like,
isn't that Enter the Void?
Oh, that's a portion in Enter the Void.
Okay, yeah, there's a POV.
No, make the whole movie like that.
Holy fuck! If you guys would have came to see what my buddy Pat and I's faces were like after we saw Enter the Void, you'd be like, "What the fuck happened to you guys?" I'd be like, "We just saw Enter the Void." Like, we visibly were exhausted.
We saw Enter the Void, and then we got destroyed.
That movie it's fantastic, but it is just oh my god, you would probably have like sensory overload. Like, I'm not kidding, Evan.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the opening credits alone.
Oh, it's fucking crazy movie. Sorry, anyways. Go ahead.
I mean,
what about Russian Ark? Is that just a tracking shot, or is that like a perspective shot?
Russian Ark.
That's a movie that's all one take, and it's in a museum or like a.
Where that movie is literally all one take. Yeah. I haven't seen that. I know about it because of that history. They compared it to, because I remember when they compared it once when Birdman came out. There was that was the whole thing of like, oh, it's all one take, but there's some good hidden cuts in it, but this movie Russian Ark is like, it's all one continuous take with no edits, which is kind of fucking impressive.
I've seen horror movies, like, you ever watch like the ABCs of Death series?
No.
Okay, there's like a few segments that are shot in POV's perspective. There's one, I think the best one, there's some lame ones, but there's one that's called, I think it's something like Vampire, V for Vampire, and it's literally an unearthed vampire that's about to get executed by hunters, and he jumps out, he rips like guts out of people, and it's all in his perspective. He can jump over trees,
right?
And it's like done kind of like that. So that's similar to Hardcore.
So you think horror? You think horror? I think drama.
What are the odds?
I think.
How do you think a POV perspective could work in a genre film?
I feel like something like sci-fi. Do you know what? Call me crazy,
This is
but
sci-fi.
well, like call me crazy, but like I feel like if Ready Player One had more POV shots, it could have been like a much more like. I already enjoy.
Coming soon to the PlayStation VR. Ready Player One.
RP1.
I'm amazed that they actually haven't like made a video game tie-in to that movie or that
It's
story.
because video game tie-ins aren't popular.
It's a good point, actually.
Well, like no, you feel like a Ready Player One, like open world like game would sell like hotcakes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Like no, it would be the closest thing we would have to like the real Oasis.
All right. So I know we're not really all on the same page with this one, but that's okay.
No, it's
We all have mixed feelings.
No, like
yeah.
I like what I saw, and
I didn't hate what I saw.
It's a sense.
You gave it like an 8 out of 10
It's a sensory heavy movie.
That's just a technicality. I
Technicality.
Cody, this is why I hate rating things.
Well, I don't rate halves ever.
I noticed that.
I'm
Yeah.
solid stars, baby.
Yeah.
5-star, great film. 4-star, great film.
I'm more.
3 stars, okay. 2 stars,
nuanced.
bad, and 1 star is fucking terrible.
I'm more nuanced.
Yeah.
With me, anything greater than 3.5 stars, I think is good or amazing.
It's not
3.5 stars is hit and miss. 3 stars is eh.
Yeah.
2.5 stars for me is like okay.
So you're breaking it down more.
Yeah, no, I'm more nuanced. Yeah.
It's not about the rating you give it, it's about the discussion you have about it.
Yeah.
Well, to quote the last line in this movie, Henry, listen to your heart.
Oh.
And that's how I end my
Well,
thought.
that was hardcore.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay.
All right, this is the final round, right?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes.
Okay. So my last film of the night is Castaway from 2000.
Wasn't this like an Oscar baity movie?
Well, you can
Like,
look at it.
I like your choices, but Goofy. Okay, I gotta hand it to you. Goofy movie was never sold to me as a classic. It was just like here's this fun little Disney movie that kind of came and went, but now has a cult following. Castaway. My dad would always rave about Castaway, but he always told me that it was like one of the best movies ever made. And then I watched it, and I'm like, it is and it isn't. Let's go. Then let's hear what you have to say.
All right. Well, before I talk about it, okay. So it's basically about Tom Hanks plays this guy named Chuck Nolan, who's this FedEx employee. He's like an executive there.
Yeah.
He's always working around the clock. He's just the movie starts off like the first 15 to 20 minutes is just like kind of mundane and kind of like not a lot happening. Just real life shit.
Yeah.
He's I think he's married to Helen Hunt in the movie.
Married to
Kelly.
He's either engaged or married to Helen Hunt.
Weird, I'm forgetting the detail about that. But anyway, so he's on he got called on Christmas Day to take like a flight somewhere. It was somewhere over the Pacific.
Son of a bitch.
He's flying. What?
It's Christmas Day. I just want to spend time with family.
Son of a bitch.
Now get me on.
Oh, and he's in for a fucking Christmas experience.
Because and then a very scary, abrupt turn. Like his life just takes a drastic turn when the plane crashes. And Robert Zemeckis, like, because he directed this, like, with this and that movie Flight, he knows how to direct a plane crash so effectively, where it's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
So Chuck is really the only survivor, and there was like a few people on the plane. He's the only survivor, and he's marooned on this island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And he's there for like 4 years, and the whole movie is just about him surviving. And I love these types of movies. I love, 127 Hours and
The Martian.
Yeah.
Martian was good.
Well, The Martian was good up until he was just always like going, "Oh, this is such a horrible situation. I got to figure out how I get out of it." Okay, figured it out. Oh God, I got to figure this out. I'm in danger. Okay, done.
So the lack of the constant diffusing of tension is what
yeah. He got it all figured out. Matt Damon, he's got it all because he's Matt Damon. Fuck him.
Oh, you're saying leave that guy on Mars?
Leave him on Mars.
Hashtag don't bring him
on
up.
Mars.
No.
Leave him on a foreign planet. Leave him in World War II. You don't need to waste time and energy saving.
But the lack of resources is what I like in these types of movies.
Yeah.
All he has is like all the FedEx boxes that wash up on the beach, and he decides to open them up. And I like the clever things where he's just like using like random shit. Like he's using VHS tape. Like he's using all the tape for string. He's using a skate for a mirror. Yeah. He's using just all those types of shit. And then it's kind of like that's basically what it is. And I don't want to go too much into the plot because very sadly this movie goes down in infamy as like one of those movies where the advertising was fucking terrible because
it gives away the whole movie.
It gives away the whole movie. God damn it! Actually, it's funny enough. I remember on the VHS for X-Men was the teaser, and the teaser was perfect for this movie. Because all it showed was just like, oh, I'm a busy FedEx guy. Okay, I'll be there on New Year's Eve. I promise, Kelly. I love you. I'll be right back. There's a big plane crash. Noises. All goes silent. All goes silent. He's on a beach. It says Castaway. And he goes, is anybody there? And then it just says Christmas Day. That's it. That's a perfect teaser. That's how I was introduced to it. I'm so happy. I love that.
But
I love that.
You saying the marketing completely...
But the theatrical trailer shows after Chuck gets off, spoilers, the fucking island.
Fucking island. But one of the things I actually liked about this was it made us feel emotion for a volleyball.
Well, that traumatized me as a kid. I felt so bad.
And a scene where he's trying to make fire, he's like trying to, work at like a stick against a stick, and he accidentally slips and he cuts his hand. And out of frustration, he grabs the volleyball that was one of the FedEx gifts and he throws it. And then he's like looking at it like, yeah, I can patch it up and make a little face, and then he just starts talking with it. And he calls it Wilson because that's the fucking brand.
That's the brand of the volleyball.
Very clever product placement in this movie. Two of them, FedEx and Wilson.
I think it's not either on or off a recording, but weren't you and I talking about Castaway, and we're like, aren't you amazed that FedEx was able to was comfortable portraying their brand the way that it's portrayed?
You know what's funny? A fun fact: so many job offerings happened after this movie.
Wait, so FedEx?
Everyone wanted to work for FedEx.
Everybody wanted to work for FedEx after Castaway came out.
Yeah, we kept Tom Hanks saying.
That's kind of like, do you know, after Top Gun was released, the U.S. Navy had a spike in recruitment.
And people just they gravitate to it.
No, the Navy set up recruitment booths at movie theaters so that if you like Top Gun, you can join the Navy 2 seconds later.
Right. So why I love this movie is that, if it wasn't for Back to the Future, it would be my favorite Robert
Zemeckis?
I was going to say Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez is Back to the
God Future. Damn it.
There's too many Roberts.
There's a lot of Roberts.
Just be guitar.
Including myself, actually.
What are you talking about, Cody?
Including myself. Legally, my first name is Robert, but I go by my middle name, Cody.
Have we not? That's a revelation for this show.
Doesn't need to be. I don't go by Robert.
Okay.
Anyways, it would be my favorite Robert Zemeckis film if it wasn't for Back to the Future. I love this movie because it's almost like a very patient and quiet and matured film where I think Zemeckis said it best. He said, this is a silent film with sound.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. And fun fact, the last time I watched it was this past summer, and I didn't realize this until this viewing, that Alan Silvestri, naturally, he's like one of his go-tos for his scores. His main score does not come until an hour and 40 minutes into the movie after Chuck just gets over that wave in the raft.
Yeah.
And there's that great emotional scene where he's kind of looking back at the island where it's like, I know I'm escaping you, but you also kind of saved my life.
Yeah.
You kept me alive for 4 years. And it's playing the main dramatic theme. That's the first time you hear music in that whole movie.
Wow.
Until an hour and 40 minutes. I love that kind of realism it adds to it. It makes the plane scene more effective. It makes all just all these really mundane stuff natural on the island. And it's kind of like a hangout movie, ironically, because you're kind of with him, just trying to think of how he's using these ways to survive to get coconut milk, and he thinks he sees a ship and he's trying to flag it down, and as long as you're patient watching it, and I think Tom Hanks does a great job in this movie at doing he has charisma just playing a normal guy. It's so strange.
So, apparently, my dad, I don't know if this is accurate, but my dad apparently said that in order to actually make Tom Hanks look like he had been on an island, Zemeckis actually paused the production for a year, and they didn't pick up shooting until a year. And Tom Hanks went to work on other movies.
So two things about that. Robert Zemeckis and his whole crew, while they were killing time waiting for Tom Hanks to lose weight and lose weight and grow a beard and all that stuff, they shot the film What Lies Beneath with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. They literally shot that whole film while they took a break making Castaway.
Wow. You know, like you do.
It's okay. And I didn't even like it that much anyways, but whatever.
Great!
But then the other thing that happened is that this is very unfortunate, is that it didn't catch up to him years later, but because Tom Hanks lost so much weight and then gained it back again,
diabetes.
he became a diabetic in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. Type 2. Yeah. It sucks. I mean... And he was nominated and didn't even win. The only 2 Oscars of this movie, and you say Oscar bait, the only 2 things it was nominated for and it didn't win was sound and Tom Hanks' performance.
Okay, I fucking take that back because I'm like, this looks like the type of movie that the Oscars would love.
Well, it should have got a little bit more awards. I think Zemeckis should have got a nod.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, like and I love the kind of optimism it has at the end of just Chuck, because spoilers, like he's trying to get back to Kelly, like Helen Hunt, and she's already moved on with her life. She's moved on with like a husband, has a kid, and it's like this weird thing where it's like all I want to do is get off the island to see you, and now it's like I lost you all over again. Yeah. But he kind of has this optimism where it's like the thing that got him off the island was this piece of like tart. I don't know what it was. It was like a piece of. It almost looked like a piece of a porta potty. Like it was like this big hard piece of plastic, and he's like, oh, this could be like a good sail for a raft, and that got him off. Mm-hmm. But he was contemplating suicide almost like the whole time on the island. But he's like, I knew I just had to keep going, and then because I kept going, this thing washed up on the beach, and now I can actually get off the island. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like where I want to see him now if they ever make like a Castaway 2, which obviously they wouldn't. But I'd love to
get stuck on another island.
No. Oh yeah, that'd be great.
No, that'd be horrible.
That would be like if they made a sequel to Armageddon.
No. Know what someone should do is just like, I mean, this is like niche fan fiction, but someone should write a book called Castaway and just put it under a pseudonym of Chuck Nolan. It's a book that's about his survival on the island,
like a survivor's journal.
Yeah, if we were reading that book, we got to Tom Hanks.
Now I'm curious to see what the novelization of this movie is like.
Well, not about the movie. It's about Chuck Nolan's character, in the perspective of his character, and what he learned of getting off the island. Yeah, and how he's at that threshold at the end, and he held on to that one FedEx package throughout the whole time. And at the end, when he gives that package, he ends up running into that woman that is the owner of that package, and she's like, "Oh, you can go this way, you can go that way," and it just ends on this great, like, optimistic note where it's like, "My life can go any way." Yeah, I mean, it's a bit not Hollywood; it's a bit movie, but you kind of want that feeling at the last end, at the last minute.
Some adult I was speaking to about this when I was younger, their criticism was, he kind of, with the exception of him going to track down his wife or his fiance or his wife or his lady love, it's like, other than that, he kind of just acts like he goes back into the world and acts like he's just back from a vacation for a week.
No, I paid attention to that. I find that he's way more like just starstruck and very like observant, and he's a different person than the beginning of the film, like way different.
Yeah. It's kind of like, wow, at the end of the Shawshank Redemption, you see Red in the real world, in the world outside of prison, and he like has no fucking clue how to handle himself. But,
true, that's a good point.
Yeah.
One criticism I have about it, and it's not like it's more like they didn't need to. I'll explain. So you know how he has a canker sore throughout the whole film? And he does that really fucking uncomfortable scene where he takes the skate and he bashes the skate up against his tooth and he fucking like removes it.
Wait, he has a canker sore?
He has he takes a rock and he bashes the skate up against his tooth to get rid of the canker.
Oh, the little...
I remember that scene.
Yeah. So before the crash, he was mentioning, I gotta go see my Dr. Spaulding, I think that's his name, his dentist, whatever. And then he mentions it later on to Wilson when they were kind of just like, when he's talking, or he's talking. And then when he gets off the island, the one that the guy that is married to Kelly now is that dentist. I'm like, if I was writing, I wouldn't be like, okay,
it's too coincidental.
It's
too on the nose.
It's way too coincidental and like too much. I would have been like, it would have been great and organic if it was just some random person.
Some random,
that's all
how life works.
Yeah, and there was a good scene where the guy was like, I'm Kelly's husband, and she's kind of emotional right now. She doesn't really want to talk about it. I'm so sorry. Like it was a good scene where it's kind of like, I don't know what to say to you, but
because what can you do, really?
Yeah, but. To end it off, I love these types of films of just like survival and I gotta tell you guys, did you guys see the Super Bowl FedEx commercial that was
No.
a parody of this movie? Essentially?
Wait, I think so. Maybe.
So it was basically a guy that looked like Tom Hanks, and he's like, beard, hair, and all that, and it's playing the score, right?
Yeah.
And he knocks on the door of after he's off the island, he knocks on the door to this one random house, and this woman answers the door, and he goes, "I've been trapped on this island for 4 years. I'm a FedEx employee, and I've held on to this package, and I want to deliver it to you as my way of I'm holding on to hope." Right? She goes, "Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what to say." And as he walks away, he turns around and goes, "Oh, wait, by the way, what's in that? What was in the package?" And he goes, "Oh, it was garden seeds, a satellite phone, a raft, just just all this shit that would have just made his life like it's great.
Fucking raft.
Garden seeds,
a satellite phone.
A satellite phone. I don't know if he may have said raft, but she's naming all this shit that would have made his life more convenient on the island. If he would have just
with a satellite phone, he would have been off there in like a week.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And my parents, if you're listening, because they like to exaggerate this, they always criticize him yelling Wilson. He's like, he yelled Wilson for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, it was 4 minutes. Shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you feel? Put yourself into his perspective.
I guess so.
The one thing you have any sort of communication with, and also they had on set someone speaking the lines that Wilson would have said to him, so that Tom Hanks does get a natural performance in reacting to it. But someone on the Blu-ray put the scenes in there where it is just he's talking to a talking volleyball. Like that's just like, it's that you're hearing a voiceover of a guy that's just like make me a fire or whatever. I don't even know.
They did a similar they did almost the same thing to make the movie Her.
Yeah, it's very similar actually.
Yeah,
but it just makes it funny out of context.
Yeah,
yeah.
What does the guy's voice sound like?
Kind of like a comedic voice, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
like a guy.
That's cute. Yeah. Anyways,
and that's Castaway.
You cast your thoughts on Castaway?
Yeah.
I kind of want to go watch that movie now. Like, I have the DVD.
I've only seen it once, and that was when I was a kid.
All right,
it deserves a rewatch.
So,
it's a masterfully done movie.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the movie I'm about to talk about next, I think, is one you guys have both seen. We did an episode earlier, like about 6 months ago. We recorded an episode of So to Speak. And I confessed on the episode that I had not seen this movie. I have since rectified that. Oh my god, it is amazing. Okay, you have a comedian who his performances are hit and miss. Mainly he makes schlock, but once in a while he gives a dramatic performance and he fucking kills it. I am of course talking about Adam Sandler in Reign Over Me. You thought I was going to talk about Uncut Gems. No,
that's not underrated.
That's not underrated.
No. Yeah. The reason why
underrated gems.
No, here's the thing. The reason why I wanted to make a point that this is an underrated movie is because literally right before we turned on the mic, I was looking up how many awards Reign Over Me won. Nothing. And do you know how many nominations it got for anything?
Nothing.
Okay, no, 3. None. Ooh. No Golden Globe recognition. No Oscar buzz.
Razzie.
No Razzies. Nope. Oh, why would he get a Razzie?
Just kind of came and went.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this movie came and went, but I will go as far as to say that after Uncut Gems, or maybe even slightly better than Uncut Gems, this is Adam Sandler's best dramatic performance anyone will ever see.
What about Punch Drunk
Love?
I still have not.
You gotta see Punch Drunk Love.
Now you gotta retract that opinion after you watch Punch Drunk Love. There's like a journey with
this. This is often brought up though, and I've heard of
every 10 years he does do a good dramatic performance.
But Reign Over Me came out in 2007, so 12 years before Uncut Gems. So
and Funny People's another movie where it's kind of
Funny People. Yeah, you want to talk about movies trailers that give away the whole fucking movie? I remember seeing the trailer for Funny People. I'm like, I don't want to see this movie anymore because I fucking know what happens. He's a comedian who gets diagnosed with cancer. Oh wait, you don't have cancer. Why would you put that in the fucking trailer? But anyways, we digress. So Reign Over Me. The plot is it's actually a bit complex because so there are a couple. The main storyline actually is about Don Cheadle.
You're about to say Terrence Howard.
Roadies!
Yeah, you're roadies.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, so Don Cheadle is this dentist who gets involved in a random ass sexual assault scandal where a patient accuses him. Have either of you guys have seen this movie?
I have, but I don't remember this part of it.
I've never seen this
movie.
So
all I remember is that a guy is trying to help out his friend.
Yeah,
who's grieving over his family dying in 9/11.
Yeah, correct. It's a post 9/11 type movie.
The point, so basically, Terrence Howard, while he's reconnecting with his buddy, played by Adam Sandler, they were roommates in dental college, and that's how they know each other. So, Adam Sandler is just this absolutely broken. He's a bit of a quirky fellow, and he wants to escape reality at every chance he gets. So he's consuming drugs. They go to bars constantly. He's constantly like but the thing is, Don Cheadle wants to get him help, and every single time he tries to talk to have a heart to heart with his friend, Adam Sandler gets super, super abrasive. It's so bizarre because Adam Sandler is this quirky character. If this were a typical Happy Madison film, he'd be an unlikable douche. No, like, this guy is one of the most sympathetic people you'll ever see. Like, he's a tortured soul. You understand that he lost his family, but he doesn't explain how he lost his family until later in the movie. The long story short of it is, his Adam Sandler's parents are worried about him because, like, he's mentally unstable, and he shuts himself in this, like, apartment that was where he lived with his family, but now, no, his in-laws are really concerned about him, like, the parents of his wife that died and kids that died on 9/11, like, the parents of his wife his in-laws are really concerned about him. So they want to get him help. There's kind of a back and forth between whether or not he should be in therapy or institutionalized. And it's a conflict of, like, you know, how does a lost soul help himself? Like, does he have to be institutionalized? Does he have to go to therapy? Eventually, like, he makes it to therapy, and then the therapist is played by Liv Tyler, whom I love when as I've said on the show before, I love Liv Tyler when she plays, you know,
when she acts.
So I'm so sorry, Liv Tyler. Yeah, no, I love.
That's true.
Yeah. But unfortunately, yeah. So, but oh man, like, go back and watch the scene where he is telling her how his family died on 9/11.
Yeah.
That scene alone should have warranted him an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the very least, or Best Actor. No. That's why I say this is underrated. Like, when he can act and really vividly describe a traumatic scene, holy shit.
Like Adam Sandler's mainly known for, like, and this is probably where he's at his best, where it's like Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore, where he can go from being like that sensitive nice guy to just being that aggressive angry guy. And he does the aggressive type really well. And I've only seen this movie once, and it was, like, I think 10 years ago, actually. And I still remember one scene where it was their very first scene in the bar, Don Cheadle and Adam Sandler just kind of sitting there shooting the shit, and then Don Cheadle kind of looks down and goes, "A lot of pretty girls here tonight." And then Adam Sandler calls him out, like, "Why are you telling me that?"
Because, like, he's still not over.
He's like, "I'm just making an observation, man. Like, why are you getting upset?" He's like, "Fuck you," and he starts, like, throwing a fit in the bar.
Yeah.
Like that. I'll always remember that one scene because it's like that's kind of like adding seeds to his character without really giving it away necessarily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's I wouldn't put it in the same camp as, like, manipulative films.
It's really not.
It's not really manipulative. I mean, when you have a character that's sort of great, and it is a movie of its time too, 2006,
2007.
7? Yeah,
it's like less.
I mean, there's also like there's movies like Remember Me and stuff like that, or Walk to Remember. Was that also 9/11?
No,
Incredibly Close and
Extremely
Loud.
Loud and Incredibly
That's
Close.
the one. That's the one. Sorry, that's the one I'm thinking
That's
of.
the biggest one I can think
of.
Well,
like there's a lot of movies that are trying to really touch to people after that terrible event.
And then there's movies like Postal.
Oh God!
God damn it!
You're like the bucket of water when I'm sleeping.
I make your bird go pee pee.
Oh God!
Oh my
Anyways, so at this point in history, there were a lot of 9/11 movies. Like there were at around the 5-year anniversary of 9/11. Between the 5 and 10-year anniversaries of 9/11, there were a lot of 9/11 movies. Like there was United 93 by Paul Greengrass. There was
World Trade
Center with Nicolas Cage. There was believe it or not, in 2006 there was United 93, which was a theatrical movie, and then there was Flight 93, a TV movie with really bad CGI, and it's literally about the same thing.
That sounds awesome.
Another thing I remembered about Reign Over Me is that I know that Adam Sandler's character, he's like playing video games and he's playing Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, which I approve on. That's a great game.
Yeah,
Shadow of the Colossus. It's a Sony game. That's also, the movie is owned by Columbia Pictures. I can't believe Adam Sandler's product placement and his tie-ins with all that shit still makes it in a dramatic movie.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I still can't believe
I feel like that was in his contract,
You make it Columbia, because his Columbia Picture career was all about fucking product placements. You can play a drinking game with the Sony products. Oh, man.
Oh,
you watch his movies, you'd be drunk.
Look at if you watch Click, he has like a Sony laptop.
Everything.
I'm pretty sure the remote itself is like a Sony. Is a Sony, yeah. But yeah, so Reign Over Me, I love how it's a drama. Okay, remember how the reason why I said there were a lot of movies about 9/11 and that take place on 9/11, but later there came movies like this one and Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close that deal with the emotional fallout of 9/11.
Post 9/11.
Post 9/11.
Yeah.
Because Americans, it took them, they're still not over it, emotionally. Can you imagine, losing someone you knew or loved on that day?
Yeah.
You didn't even see it coming. Just, all of a sudden, it happens and then they're gone. That would fuck anyone up. So
I think out of all the dramatic performances that Adam Sandler's done, this is kind of like an underdog.
That's why I said so.
There's definitely more prestige, Punch Drunk Love, and I guess to a certain extent, Uncut Gems.
Why do you say to a certain extent?
Well, because he's so unsympathetic in that, and you're so stressed out in that film. The whole film is like an anxiety-driven thing. In terms of dramatic performances, I think I agree with what Jay from Red Letter Media said about Punch Drunk Love, where that kind of feels like the typical anti-performance of a typical Adam Sandler, where you take a guy that's would be a weirdo, but you put him in this context and he's actually pathetic and he's being mocked at.
Yeah.
But in that regular comedy Adam Sandler movies, he's just everyone just kind of just reacts to him he's Billy Madison, he's up to no good.
I was amazed that there's not really too much more I can say because I know that Lyle hasn't seen it. I don't want to give.
I don't want to watch it.
You don't want to watch it?
No, I said I will watch.
Oh, watch it. Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm curious about it.
But yeah, no. So I'll watch it with.
It's not bad.
You know what? If we're okay after the last,
we're gonna watch Snow Day and the Reign Over Me.
Snow Day and Reign Over Me is not a recommended.
Well, I think you watch Reign Over Me as a cool down movie. No pun intended. A cool down Snow Day. Yeah, there you go. Boy.
No, I was thinking the next time we do our underrated movies marathon, have we done 3 movies in one go before, or have we done? Because I was thinking we could do MouseHunt, Reign Over Me, Snow Day.
Oh God, what a fucking roller coaster!
One of those things is not like the other.
Okay.
You know what? MouseHunt and Snow Day
would be a good double.
That seems like a good double feature.
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
Let's do Snow Day first and then MouseHunt after.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, so Reign Over Me, they're really I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to spoil the big scene I'm talking about, but how he describes what happened. But
I kind of figured.
Yeah. just watch the movie. It's really, really good. And Don Cheadle, like I didn't talk about him a lot. He's great in this too. Although I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but okay, have either of you seen Hotel Rwanda?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
That's my favorite performance by him.
Okay, so sadly, Don Cheadle, like I've seen enough of his work to kind of feel like he seems like that one of those actors that just plays the same guy in every movie. Like, does that seem like a fair assessment of him? Because like he's like a sure of himself, professional, well-mannered guy who is getting entangled with, crazy characters. Like in Flight, he has to be the lawyer to the drunken pilot that saved people.
Drunk Denzel.
I love scenes like acting.
And in War Machine, he's opposite Robert Downey Jr., who is is unstable.
I like scenes of. I don't want to say it's his best performance, but like if I was like an actor and I'd put like a demo reel together or whatever, I would put that one scene from Boogie Nights where he's trying to get the job interview and
Don Cheadle?
And when they look at his background and they realize he's in porn, he's like, no, I'm just an actor, and he just starts to put up like an argument. I love that scene with him.
Oh yeah.
Because he's really it's the reality crashing down on him where it's like, oh, I'm in porn, but it's hard back in the 70s or early
even
80s.
Today, nowadays.
Or sure, even today.
Well,
it's like if you're in that industry, it's hard for you to kind of get out. And because he's trying to make like a radio store?
Record.
No, I think it was a radio store.
No.
Like a boombox store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was something musical.
That scene I always loved him in. He's great. He's great.
Mm-hmm. So is that all you have to say?
That's all I have to say about Rain Over Me. Great movie.
You finally reined it in.
Rain on a snow day.
Okay.
God damn, we're not doing that. It's not fucking funny.
All right, take us home.
Alright, I'm gonna take
As Phil Collins would say, take me home. Because I don't remember. Sorry.
What the hell are you two?
He's singing a Phil Collins song.
I don't know that song.
Take Me Home by Phil Collins.
And funny enough, I'm going to talk about a movie that I definitely know neither of you have seen.
Okay.
So just like the last episode, this is one I
the
found.
Survive Style 5?
It's not quite up to that level of zaniness, but the movie I picked to end this episode off is a nice little, unique little slice of indie pie.
Ooh.
And it's called Dave Made a Maze.
Oh, you told me about this one.
I saw you watching a bit of it. It looked interesting.
Yeah, so
yeah, you told me about this movie, and it seems actually interesting.
Yeah. Let me break it down. So, Dave is like this guy approaching his 30s. He hasn't really done much. He kind of just ekes through life, but he has this creative spark in him. But every single project he ever puts his like ideas into, it always falls through. He never completes it because he's too like shy. He's too worried about failure. A lot of things hold him back. He has a lot of hang-ups.
Yeah.
So one day, his girlfriend comes by his apartment and sees like this cardboard box, like this little tunnel, this cardboard box. She's like, "What the?" It's like, "Hey, honey, I'm in here." He's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I made a thing." And it turns out, over the course of an entire week, Dave built an entire maze in his apartment that's made out of cardboard and construction paper. And so his friends were like, well, can you get out? I got lost. Can you come get me? Oh, no, he doesn't say that. They're like, all right, we'll come get you. He's like, no, don't do that. Why? It's dangerous in here. So, so like the girlfriend, his best friend, and a documentary crew go inside this maze, and it turns out it's a whole lot bigger on the inside. And there's like traps. There's like this like minotaur made out of like paper mache, and there's just like all these like there's a lot of perils inside this maze. But what's really interesting is that like each room is like constructed entirely out of cardboard, construction paper, basically everything from an arts and crafts store.
Wow.
This is like one of the most like interesting indie films I've seen in a long time, where it's like I want to meet the production designer and buy them a beer because it looks great for like a low budget film.
It reminds me of that Disney Channel show from the 90s called Out of the Box. Do you guys remember that?
No.
No.
Out of the box, out of the box. Where they make a box for it, and then they go inside, and it's really just a fucking studio set where they make it look like it's like bigger than you imagine once you're inside.
Yeah,
It's like a kid show, whatever.
Yeah, no. This feels like a movie that Patrick H. Willems would have made with his friends.
Okay,
Like,
I can see that.
It's got like that kind of like, hey, we're making a movie, and we're gonna tell you that it's a movie.
Do you know what this movie reminds me of, actually, tonal wise? Like, just using your, like, the kind of imaginative creativeness with the story. Have you guys ever seen Brigsby Bear?
No.
Okay.
Sounds familiar.
You gotta go into that cold and no. Hands off your phone. You have to go into that movie not knowing anything about it, and that's how you enjoy it more. I'm not kidding. I can't spoil
What's it called?
Brigsby Bear.
Brigsby Bear. Okay.
You're gonna be like, holy fuck, the first like 15 to 20 minutes, and then the rest of the movie you're gonna be like, holy shit, we're going down this way now. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. That's the experience.
Okay,
But that kind of reminds me of that. It was just like doing something really creative that's kind of like you're reacting to somebody that's like thinking on the outside, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah.
yeah, it's neat how they made this movie. Basically, the production team had to use they got all the. It was actually a pretty inexpensive set because it's all used boxes, but like they had to build a set, film everything, destroy the set, and then build the next room. So you're not getting any reshoots for this one. You're gonna go in head first. The director hasn't really made much. His name's Bill Watterson, not to be confused with the creator of Calvin and Hobbes. And the rest of it's a pretty small team. I really hope this guy makes more stuff. I liked.
From briefly what I've seen of this movie and how you describe it, this feels like a movie that any anyone could have made in their house.
Well, yeah, because it's a very simple idea that I never seen anyone do before.
Yeah.
Where and I know it's like an adventure film, but for some reason it's also listed as a horror film.
Oh yeah,
like it's on Shudder.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's technically a horror film too because like anytime.
Well, there are horror aspects.
But yeah, I mean, there's traps that can kill you. There's also like a minotaur beast that's in the maze because it's a labyrinth, right? So it's like it's Greek.
Yeah,
like men from Greece. And yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's a horror. It's not the least bit scary because, like, anytime anyone dies, their body shoots out confetti like it's blood.
Wow.
And they just like get vanquished.
Does anybody have any orange slices? Because doesn't Ant-Man build a fort with his?
Yeah, he does. Okay.
That was
different movie.
I know, that was my obscured reference.
Civil War.
I hang out with you Corona Avengers too much. Now the Marvel quoting is rubbed off on me.
That's a good comparison because it does feel like something Scott Lang would have built with his daughter while he was in house arrest.
Yeah, not quarantine, house arrest.
Yes, there is a difference. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I had any complaints, it's like some of the acting's not all that strong. It just feels like you get like these like. I don't think there's a single star in the movie, so it's very low budget, but I think that's kind of adds to the charm. I don't really want to get too much into this. This is like Survive Style 5 kind of stuff where I kind of want to leave you guys cold.
Okay.
But I've given enough of the premise. I've told you enough about what I like, and it's just yeah, I don't know. It's a singularly interesting piece. It's not something I see too much. And it makes me wish I was in kindergarten again. I could just build things with paper.
Well, I'm happy you told me a film that I don't know much about. I haven't seen it, so
yeah.
I was not aware of this at all.
Yeah, no.
You told me you raved about it, but I didn't like look in on it.
Well, I think I found it at Bay Street Video. I was searching around, and I found it. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And yeah, it was. I don't know. It's stuck with me since. It's stuck with me like glue.
Nice.
Nice.
Enough of the arts and crafts puns. Just go ahead and see it. It's on Shudder for some reason, and
I think I have Shudder.
I surprisingly do not.
So we happen to be recording on the second Or no, it's February 22nd,
2022,
and we're ending this podcast at 2 hours and 22 fucking minutes.
That is insane.
Okay, this is, so to speak,
Fate.
good night.
Oh wait, really? We're just signing off now?
But if we sign off, we missed
No,
it.
I fucked it up. Everybody go watch movies.
Actually, no, we have to cut.